The road trip continues in Atlanta, Georgia. We welcome you from Turner Field as we get set for the Brewers and the Braves, a battle of two first-place clubs. Starting tonight, it's the first of a four-game series against Freddie Freeman. Off to a great start again this year, the Atlanta Braves. Carlos Gomez back in the starting lineup tonight after 5 games out. And hi, everybody. We welcome you from Atlanta. Got a great night for baseball here tonight. Alongside Bill Schroeder, I'm Brian Anderson. We'll hear from Telly Hughes in just a moment as well. And these two ball clubs come together in first place in their respective divisions. Let's talk a little bit about the way the lineup is constructed tonight, though, because the Brewers, a struggling offense right now. Glad to have Carlos Gomez back.
And he is the spark of this offense. You can tell the last 5 games just didn't have that same clickiness to the lineup. You don't have your Gold Glover in center field. Carlos Gomez can help you win games in a lot of different ways. I mean, with his bat, the home runs, his speed, he's able to bunt to get on base, get things going, and he does a nice job out there in center field as well. But it's always good to have one of your big bats in that lineup. Still Ramirez out of the lineup, so Brian Braun trying to get back into the swing of things, but awfully glad to see Carlos Gomez at the top of the order.
Well, this will be the second matchup this year with the Atlanta Braves. The Brewers and the Braves matched up in the first series of the season. The Brewers dropped 2 out of 3. Tell us about Atlanta lately. What kind of team are they right now?
Oh, they're a good pitching ball club, just like the Brewers. I think these two teams are a carbon copy of each other. The Atlanta Braves lead the National League and all of baseball, for that matter, with a 282 team earned run average. The problem for the Braves is they're last in runs scored in the National League. Their starters have been very good. They got Craig Kimbrell. He's a dominant force. And when you look at these two teams, I mean, they're almost identical. They look at each other and they see each other in the mirror. Everything pretty much identical. This could go one of two ways. Somebody's going to break out and score some runs, or this is going to be 4 games, low-scoring, very quick ball games, dominated by the pitching.
Well, Brewers coming off a series loss against the Chicago Cubs. One of the hot bats is Ricky Weeks. When we come back, Telly Hughes will catch up with the red-hot Rickies. Stay with us.
3 from the Cubs. In a series, they only scored a combined 6 runs. 2 of those runs came off the bat of Ricky Weeks yesterday after he hit his second home run, which was a 2-run home run. Weeks is back in the lineup tonight, and he looks forward to focusing on continuing to swing a hot bat.
Just trying to be ready, really. Whether it's more tee work in the cage, more time in the gym, just something to keep the blood flowing, and just being ready.
Coming up, the Crew look to bounce back in the clash of division leaders. Brian Anderson and Bill Shorter are on deck with the first pitch between the Brewers and Braves after the break.
His start against the Atlanta Braves tonight to get this series underway, and the road trip continues after the Brewers dropped 2 out of 3 in Chicago. Ron Renicky and the Brew Crew will play 4 in Atlanta, then 3 more in Miami. It's the longest road trip of the season. Willie Peralta against Mike Minor tonight. Here's the batting order that Renicky puts together to face Minor. It's brought to you by Associated Bank. Carlos Gomez back in there. He leads off in center. Gene Segura will hit second tonight with Ryan Braun batting third. In the middle of the order, it's Jonathan Lucroy over at first base, his second start at first base this season. Ricky Weeks bats fifth with Mark Reynolds in the 6th spot playing third base. Bottom 3, Martin Maldonado, Chris Davis, and Willie Peralta rounding it out. 4-man umpiring crew in place tonight. Manny Gonzalez will call the balls and strikes. Seth Buckminster, Brian Knight, and Fielden Colbreth on the bases. Colbreth is the crew chief. He's the guy to keep an eye on for a potential review scenario. Roger McDowell there in front of the shot, and the Atlanta Braves. How about the way they won yesterday, Rock? They matched up against the St. Louis Cardinals. This was all in the 9th inning against Rosenthal. A 9th inning comeback. They were down by a run, and that to Jordan Schaefer, a bases loaded walk to tie it, and this is how they won it.
Yeah, amazing. I mean, that pitch to Jordan Schaefer looked like a pretty good pitch, called a ball. The tying run would score, and then they took Rosenthal out. Martinez came in and threw a wild pitch, and the Braves come home a winner in St. Louis. So, well, you got to score runs somehow. The Brewers have had a difficult time, as well as the Braves lately in scoring runs. Both teams pitch very well. Something's got to give here this week in Atlanta.
Now both teams coming off series losses. The Braves salvaging and avoiding a sweep with that win yesterday. Beautiful night for baseball in Atlanta. Had a ton of rain here yesterday, but it has cleared up. Slight breeze blowing tonight. Temperature will stick in the mid-60s, and there is left-hander Mike Minor. Minor started the season on the disabled list. Had a shoulder injury, did not return to the starting rotation until early May, and he figures to be one of the anchors of that Atlanta Braves rotation. Rock, he's coming off a terrific season last season, his best as a major leaguer.
Yeah, 13 wins a year ago. You mentioned he's got off to a slow start with that shoulder problem in spring training, making only his 4th start this year. Very good last time out against the Giants, though. Did not allow a run in 6 2/3 innings while allowing only 3 hits. Making start number 4 against the Milwaukee Brewers here tonight. 1-2 with a 2.96 ERA. Let's check out the Braves as they line up defensively. Evan Gattis, the cleanup hitter behind home plate. Remember Brian McCann, he left the Atlanta Braves to the New York Yankees as a free agent. Yeah, the Braves are about middle of the pack with 25 errors so far this year.
Carlos Gomez ready to lead off and excited to be back in the lineup after a stomach virus yesterday. He's got some history here against Mike Minor. Last September, batting second at the time, Carlos Gomez took one out of Turner Field against Mike Minor. Those are always good memories to keep throughout the offseason, and he hustled his way around the bases that time. There was an incident here with Gomez and Brian McCann after he homered against Paul Mahalam, but everybody's made up. This is the second series of the year between these two teams. And we are finally ready to play ball here in Atlanta tonight. Minor ready to go. Gomez leads the way, and the first pitch is upstairs, ball 1, and off we go from Turner Field. Big numbers for Gomez, certainly putting himself out of the gates early in the MVP discussion. Certainly a lot of baseball to be played, but Gomez, one of those impact players across Major League Baseball. And we've got a couple of them in this series.
And the Brewers certainly missed him in that Cubs series. Pretty much the heart and soul of this offense right now as a leadoff hitter. Has fared a little bit better on the road than he has at Miller Park.
Now Gomez also dealing with a little tightness in the back. That's one of the reasons he sat the extra day. He served a 3-game suspension and then was eligible to come back and play on Saturday, and could not Saturday because of his back, and then was scheduled to play tomorrow, was in the lineup, or rather yesterday he was in the lineup, and they had to push it back to today because of that illness. And Gomez draws the walk, so a good way to start. The Brewers get a very fast base runner on base to lead off against Minor.
Yeah, let's see how that back issue affects the way he runs the bases. Always runs with reckless abandon. We'll see how that back issue is going to affect that. You certainly hope it does not. But Carlos showing some good patience. First at bat in 5 days.
Gene Segura batting second tonight for Renicky. He's been up and down the lineup a little bit. Not a whole lot of offense in that series against Chicago. The Brewers scored just 6 runs. 2 of those were unearned runs. And offensively, the team had 39 strikeouts combined in those 3 games. So trying to turn the page a little bit here. Segura drops a bunt down. Minor whistles one to first for the out. Just gets him. And that'll go as a sacrifice for Segura as Gomez advances into scoring position.
Yeah, it looked like a bunt for a base hit, but it's going to work just as well as a sacrifice with Braun coming up. The Brewers would certainly like to get on the board early. They have had a difficult time, to say the least, in scoring runs on this road trip. And it'd be nice to get on the run totals early tonight.
Now, despite their struggles in Chicago, the Brewers still open the day today in first place in the Central. They are 10 games over 500. Second best record in the National League behind the Giants, who are 11 over to start play today. As Braun takes strike 1. Brewers have a 4-game lead over the Cardinals. Reds are 7 back, then Pittsburgh. And Chicago rounding out the Central Division. Only the Brewers and the Cardinals are over 500 at this point of the season. Braun into right. Backing up on it is Hayward. He'll make the play. Gomez will tag. And we'll end up at third, but now 2 outs for the Brewers.
Yeah, Ryan picked on a high curveball. Good pitch to hit. Ryan got under it a little bit. And Minor's going to be one of those guys going to throw all 4 pitches, also cut his fastball from time to time. And that was a hanger that Minor was able to get away with. And Ryan's not going to miss too many of those.
So 2 gone, and here is Jonathan Lucroy. Batting average just slipping under 300. Comes in at 299. Has a couple of home runs and 16 driven in. Renicki's got him back in there in the cleanup spot and over at first base today.
And just trying to find a way to get some runs on the board. It's normally Reynolds over at first, and with Ramirez on the disabled list, we've seen Bianchi at third quite a bit, but trying to bolster that offense, trying to find different ways to get some runs on the board.
2 quick strikes on Jonathan Lucroy. Mike Minor activated May 2nd. He's 26 years of age. He's now in his 5th big league season. This will be his 3rd full season as an everyday member of that starting rotation. 13 wins last year. He crossed over that 30 starts threshold and over 200 innings last year as Lucroy soft liner to Simmons, and that will retire the side. So the Brewers come up empty in the first, and now it's Willie time. Peralta against the Braves when we continue from Atlanta. Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Menards. Save big money on all your home improvement needs at Menards. By Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time. By Toyota, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. Off and running here at Turner Field, Atlanta. Brewers failed to score in the first despite a leadoff walk, and now the Atlanta Braves coming up. Here's the Associated Bank Braves batting order with Hayward, Upton, and Freeman at the top. Freddie Gonzalez has Gaddis, Johnson, and B.J. Upton in the middle of the order with Simmons, Pena, and Mike Minor rounding it out. That's the batting order that will face Willie Peralta.
Yeah, no decision his last time out against the Pittsburgh Pirates, although he threw a very good ball game. Only 1 run in 7 innings, allowed only 5 hits. Off to a great start this year. Willie 4th in the National League in earned run average at 2.04.
7 consecutive quality starts for Willie Peralta, and starting to emerge as a potential ace. Brewers always felt like he could emerge in that role, and after a shaky first half last year, really started to dial things up in the second half, and he has carried that over. into his 2014 campaign. Has great stuff. That power sinking fastball as he gets that one right by Hayward.
Let's check out the defense for the Milwaukee Brewers, brought to you by Menards. Third in the National League in team fielding percentage. They've committed only 24 errors. Jonathan Lucroy gets a start over at first base. Ron Renicky wants some offense. Martin Maldonado, in games that he catches, the Brewers are 8-0.
And Hayward able to check his swing. Big Jason Hayward in the top of that batting order, and that's a spot he's been for Freddie Gonzalez this season. He's hitting just .215 though. Braves have gone through their offensive woes as well, much like the Brewers. Very similar adjectives to describe both. And it all starts with Hayward, whose on base percentage is just .309 to start play today.
Man, these two teams are very similar when it comes to offense. Having a tough time. The reason they're in first place is because of their pitching. And Freddie Gonzalez has been having guys in and out of the lineup trying to get something going.
And a well hit ball that'll sneak through. They had a little bit of a shift on, and Hayward knocks it right through the vacated hole. And a base hit to start it for Hayward.
You see Segura shading up the middle, thinking that Hayward, if he hits a ground ball, it's going to be up the middle, but he beat the shift and into left field.
Braves don't run a whole lot. Freddie Gonzalez not a big believer in the stolen base. He's a lot like his mentor Bobby Cox in that category. Hayward is second on their club in steals with 6. And it'll be Justin Upton. He's been moving up and down that lineup as well, trying to find a home for him. Upton checks in third in the league in homers with 10. Has 20 runs batted in. But he and his brother are 1-2 in the league in strikeouts. BJ is leading the National League in Ks. Justin is second.
Yeah, just don't make mistakes to him. Keep the fastball in on their hands and the sliders down and away. And between them, they struck out 108 times.
Upton's been very good here at Turner Field this season. He's hitting for a .371 average compared to just .195 on the road. And Peralta missing inside. 3 balls, no strikes on one of the 2 Uptons in the lineup. I would imagine it's got to be a little challenging to have your brother on the team and to have your brother struggling like he is for the 2nd consecutive season. And if you have a brother, you know what it's like to suffer what he goes through. Runner goes, and the throw is not in time. Hayward steals the base, his 7th. Throw was just a little high. Maybe if it's right on the bag, they've got a shot.
Yeah, he got a good jump, though. I mean, on a 3-0 pitch, he's taking off. Very interesting that he's doing that. Doesn't even bother looking in. Pretty close. Good throw by Maldonado. And Hayward able to get the hand in there. Now, very rare do you see a guy run on 3-0.
And there's ball 4. So 2 on to start this game for Atlanta against Willie Peralta.
Yeah, the power sinker, the slider have been very good for Willie. And the one thing he's been doing a very good job with this year so far is minimizing the base on balls. That's only the 11th walk he's issued in his first 8 starts. 8+ starts now.
8 starts, a 2.05 ERA for Peralta as he faces Freddie Freeman with 2 on in the first. A breaking ball there from Peralta had Freeman out in front of it.
Really the only guy that's been relatively consistent for the Atlanta Braves offensively. Those are great numbers. Off to a good start, picking up right where he left off last year. Hit over 300 with 109 RBIs last year.
And Freeman, a pop-up just behind the skin of the dirt, and Weeks is there, and that's the first out for Willie Peralta. Boy, had him badly fooled on that pitch. A little changeup.
I think it was a changeup, or took a little bit off the slider, one of the two, wasn't sure, but had Freeman reaching, and they get him on the infield fly rule. Check it out. And that's a changeup. That's a good one. On the outside corner, Freeman tried to pull it.
One gone for Evan Gattis. Braves took 2 out of 3 from the Brewers in the first series of the year at Miller Park. And then the Brewers went on their first road trip of the season after that and caught fire. That Braves pitching staff was fantastic throughout the first 3 games. Brewers won opening day behind Gallardo and then dropped the next 2. It was Travis Wood and Aaron Harang who pitched very well in those last 2 games. Starting a 4-game series tonight. And that gets by Maldonado. Runners are going. Got a chance here. Oh, Maldonado throws it away. And a run is going to score. Oh, the Brewers had it out right in front of them. And Maldonado, a rare error.
Yeah, they had him easily at third base. Maldonado tried to be a little bit too quick. He didn't need to be. Arm dropped. That ball sailed into left field. That'll be a wild pitch. An error on Maldonado. And he had Hayward dead to rights at third base, but threw it away.
Well, think about how the Braves have scored their last 3 runs. They came back yesterday against the St. Louis Cardinals. They had a bases loaded walk to tie the game, and then a wild pitch that won the game eventually for them. It brought the go-ahead run in. Now a run comes in on an error by Maldonado.
Yeah, got to score some way, right? I actually gave Maldonado a pass ball on that. Pass ball and an error.
Runner at third with 1 out. Gattis looks at one up and away. 3 balls and a strike. Justin Upton over at third. It's been a hit and a walk. And a run producing error. Infield is in for the Brewers. As Gattis slices one foul in the seats.
Yeah, that's the old equalizer for Willie Peralta. Even when he's down in the count, that power sinker is able to get some ground balls, get some outs with it. Even down in the count, 2-1, 3-1.
Peralta could use a strikeout here. 3-2 the count. And Gattis doesn't bite. Second walk of the inning. Shaky start for Willie Peralta. First and third now with 1 away.
The Braves haven't walked all that much, and that one pretty close. Manny Gonzalez, pretty good slider on the outside corner, didn't like it. Kranitz has not seen his pitching staff struggle too much this year.
Yeah, been pretty smooth sailing.
Matt Garza's had his issues in the first inning, and this is a rarity for Willie.
Now Chris Johnson will step in. He's had a good month of May, although he struggled in St. Louis. Johnson has been one of their hotter hitters this month. He was just 2 for 12 in the St. Louis series. This is a guy that made a serious push for a batting title last year. He's hitting .328 in the month of May, despite that 2 for 12 in St. Louis. Brewers need a ground ball here, and Johnson has hit in 7 double plays this season. He's a good candidate for it, but he's also a good hitter.
And so is that power sinker. Get that ball down in the strike zone, get some tilt on it. And there you see it. You know, more ground balls, far and away more ground balls than fly balls. About a 2-to-1 ratio. That's good. That's why he's only given up 6 homers.
No balls, 2 strikes on Johnson. Again, he lays off. Count remains at 1-2.
Willie's had good success against the Atlanta Braves. 2 starts last year. Only he's allowed 1 earned run in 2 starts last year in 13 innings of work. And a 1-0 record.
We'll see what he has in mind for him here. Johnson takes down and in. That sinker from Peralta. 2-2 now on Johnson. 24 pitches in this first inning. Never want to start a game with this many pitches. That's extremely taxing. More so than the other innings,
right,
when you're just out of the bullpen trying to get your day started.
Yeah, settle in. You're really not all that loose, and you know, high pitch counts in the first inning are rough.
Peralta's walked 2. He's given up a hit. There's been a stolen base. Maldonado with an error that allowed the run to score. And Willie trying to minimize the damage here in this first inning. 2-2, 1 gone. Boy, good take there. Peralta typically gets a lot of swings on that slider, but the Braves give him credit. They've been able to lay off some good ones here today.
Braves are a pretty good breaking ball hitting club. I mean, they go up there looking for it until they get 2 strikes. And they're able to take some close ones off the corner.
See, third 3-ball count to the first 5 hitters. 3-2 pitch and a bouncer to third. Gobbled up by Reynolds to second for 1. Weeks to first in time. Double play. Mark Reynolds continues to shine defensively. 5-4-3. The Brewers go around the horn. Braves lead 1-0.
Braves with a 1-0 lead here in the top of the second. Let's take a look at our Powerball home run count. Ricky Weeks, who will lead things off this inning, belted out his second home run of the season. And when he said out of the stadium, it literally went out of the stadium onto Waveland Avenue, giving the Brewers a home run there. And his Powerball count is now at 2. And had a chance to catch up with Ricky before the game, and I had to ask him, how do you make sure you stay sharp and continue to produce when your number is called? And he said it has nothing to do with what everyone may think it does, because I asked him, it has a lot to do with him being mentally tough. He said, I'll let you say that part, but it's just me staying in the gym, getting the extra cage time, and just making sure I'm prepared in every way possible when my number is called. And so far this season, B.A. and Rock has been all good for him.
Yeah, he's really done a nice job, and he's one of the few hot hitters right now in the lineup. And I think we talked a little bit about this yesterday, Rock, but that platoon with Jeanette and Weeks has put both players, when they are on offense specifically, in favorable positions. You've got Jeanette facing mostly right-handers, Ricky Weeks facing mostly left-handers. So they're getting the favorable at-bats, and both are having a lot of success right now.
And it's a shame that both of them are second basemen and really don't play any other position. I mean, you'd like to be able to have both of them in the lineup, particularly against right-handers. Ricky's been swinging such a good bat, even against right-handed pitching, so you'd like to keep him in there, but you can only have one second baseman in the game. So that flexibility is so important. I would imagine Scooter, you throw him in the outfield perhaps if you really want to keep him in the lineup. Who knows? That's kind of where the Brewers are right now. They just got to figure out who's going to be hot, get him in the lineup somehow, and at the risk of weakening your defense. That's what they have to do at this point.
And a swing and a miss by Weeks. Minor took a little something off that. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
It'd be nice to get Ramirez back whenever that's going to be.
Now Ramos coming back from a hamstring injury. Did some light jogging today, and hoping to get back to baseball activities the remainder of this road trip. Some warm weather spots here in Atlanta and then Miami. Ramirez is eligible to return on Monday, Memorial Day, when the Orioles are in town. And I'm not sure he's going to be able to make it at that time, but hopefully on the next homestand you'll see Ramirez try to get this lineup back intact. Weeks bounces one out to Simmons, and he takes care of Ricky for the first out. Now that home run by Weeks we showed you, that was the only run producing hit of the game yesterday. Brewers have just scored 2 runs in the last 25 innings, and that 2-run home run by Ricky Weeks was the one that did it.
Man, that followed a Logan Schaefer double. That was the first hit of the ball game, the double. Then Ricky with the homer. Brewers only had 3 hits yesterday against the Chicago Cubs, but you felt like they were in it the whole time.
Yeah, actually brought the tying run to the plate as Mark Reynolds takes ball 1. Beautiful play by Reynolds again to start a double play. And Reynolds in the air to left, got a little carry, but a big ballpark on a cool night. And Upton brings it in for the second out.
Hey, let's celebrate Memorial Day at Miller Park. On Monday, May 26th, the Brewers will wear special camo-themed uniforms honoring past and present military personnel as they take on Manny Machado and the Baltimore Orioles. Visit Brewers.com or dial up 414-902-4000 for tickets. Easy for me to say.
I thought you did a fine job. It's good recovery. I know what you're thinking, though. You're thinking, why no J.J. Hardy in the promo?
Or Chris Davis.
Oh, the other Chris Davis, you mean?
That's going to be your favorite series of the year.
Wait. Going to match up. We're going to have split screens.
Both Davises?
Yes, we're going to do all kind of fun stuff. Martin Maldonado takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to count.
I'm looking forward to seeing JJ. Haven't seen him since he went over to the Orioles. We saw him when he was with the Minnesota Twins.
He was a big part of the Brewers' resurgence. And they're going to say Maldonado went through on that, so a ball and 2 strikes. You know, the Brewers were coming out of a tough time in their franchise history. The ball club had gone through a sale. They had all of these great prospects in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, and then this wave of terrific young players coming to the big leagues like J.J. Hardy and Prince Fielder. As Minor strikes out Maldonado, carving up the Brewers 1-2-3 in the second inning. To make an impact on this club defensively, Jimmy John's freaky fast delivery. Peralta got the ground ball. Reynolds starts on a round the horn double play to get the Brewers out of the first.
And that's what we're talking about. When you have good pitching, you're always going to have some good defense to back it up. That play by Reynolds saved the run for Willie.
We'll see if Peralta can dial it in here a little bit in the second inning. Issued 2 walks and a single in the first inning. That run scored on an error, a throwing error by Maldonado. B.J. Upton starts it. He'll be followed by Andrelton Simmons and then Ramiro Pena. Been a rough year for B.J. Upton. You see he's wearing glasses now. They're hoping that would allow him to see the ball a little better, cut down some of the glare. You start talking about a hitter and his eyes, you're asking for big trouble. Remember, Brian McCann had all kind of vision problems while here in Atlanta a few years back, but he went to the glasses, got it worked out, and didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, that's been an issue for Mike Holt, third baseman for the Cubs. Vision issues. Can you think of anything worse for a baseball player? Not being able to see well?
You tell us, is it a hand injury or not being able to see clearly?
Eyes.
You could probably deal with a hand injury.
Brewers had me go to the eye doctor quite a bit.
No, seriously, they said nothing's wrong. No, come on, Bill. You need a second opinion.
Really, it's got to be your eyes. But it wasn't.
Full count to B.J. Upton. Peralta from the wind, and a foul in and out of the mid of Maldonado.
But, you know, when you have a hitter that's had as much success as B.J. Upton's had throughout his career, and all of a sudden swinging right through fastballs down the middle, you got to wonder. Something might be going on with his sight.
And he takes ball 4. He saw that one well. And the third walk already for Peralta. And he's grinded a little bit to start this game.
Season high in walks for him already. We're in the second inning.
Peralta has not allowed more than 3 earned runs in any start this year. As a matter of fact, he only allowed 3 earned runs once. It's typically been 1 or 2 earned runs allowed.
And he did work 8 shutout innings earlier in this month against Cincinnati. Runner on for Andrelton Simmons. Upton, a base stealing threat, hasn't been on enough to steal a lot of bases as a Brave. But he had 3 straight years with Tampa Bay stealing at least 40 bases.
That's 7 for 9 so far this year. Willie's fairly quick to home plate, and Maldonado's got a terrific throwing arm. Just keep him close.
And Peralta again missing high.
And that's what happens quite often when you're trying to be quick to home plate to give your catcher a chance to throw out a base runner. You're a little bit too quick, the arm drags, and you end up pitching up in the strike zone.
Andrelton Simmons with Upton at first, and a bouncer foul. A great matchup here. You figure a couple of guys that are going to be around a long time in the big leagues. Peralta and Simmons. This presents a terrific shortstop comparison this week. This 4-game series with Atlanta with Gene Segura and Andrelton Simmons. Simmons thought to be the premier defensive shortstop in the league. He also hits a little bit. He's got some power. And he shoots one to right, a base hit. So 2 on to start the second for Atlanta. For the second straight inning, they put their first 2 hitters on base.
Going right with a pitch. A sinker that is able to pull the hands in, shoot it into right field. A couple of hits for the Braves, both coming to the opposite field. Hayward's base hit was to left.
And that'll bring up Ramiro Pena. Dan Uggla has lost his everyday role as a second baseman for now for Atlanta. It's been that way for the majority of the month of May. Tyler Pastranaki's played a lot of second base. Tonight it's Ramiro Pena who gets the call. Uggla still has a year after this one on his contract. As you see, Rick Kranitz on his way to the mound. Maybe he spotted something with Willie Peralta off to this very shaky start tonight in Atlanta.
There's something with the mechanics, maybe trying to slow him down a little bit. Seems like he's been rushing his delivery to home plate. You don't see these kind of control issues for Peralta. You haven't seen that since the first half of last year. Trying to calm him down, saying to, get a ground ball and turn yourself a double play.
Now this is the spot, the order to do it. Pena, the 8th place hitter. You got the pitcher Minor due up next. So there's a way out of this inning. For Willie Peralta, who has such great stuff, there's always a way out of an inning. Three walks and 2 hits through the first 7 batters for Willie Peralta tonight. Here's a 1-0 to Pena. 1-1.
Yeah, started him out with a breaking pitch, a good spot for it, down and in. Trying to get him to hit a ground ball to somebody. That power sinker is the pitch for it, though. A little bit easier to elevate a breaking pitch.
Pena bounces one, and it's through. Gets by Lucroy. They're going to send Upton to the plate. Braun's throw goes to third. Segura cuts it. Simmons just back. And a run will score. That was close. Lucroy doesn't play a whole lot of first base. Almost came up with it. Instead, it's an RBI single for Pena.
Looks like it went right under the glove. Back-to-back sliders to Pena. This time he's able to get one and hit it hard just by Lucroy. Looks like he got there, but the glove not down and into right field. DJ Upton able to score easily from second base.
And just the inexperience of Lucroy over at first.
And that's what happens when you try and get the bats in the lineup. You weaken yourself defensively, and those are the things you have to do as a manager when you're not scoring runs.
So here is the pitcher, Minor. Chance to bunt the runners over. Nobody out. The first three have reached. A walk and 2 hits. Minor still looking for his first sacrifice bunt of the year. Was not activated until May 2nd. And Minor pulls the bat back, takes ball 2.
Brewers are hoping for a bunt hard at somebody to get the man at third base, maybe even turn to double play. It's hit hard enough. The corner's in. They're pinched in the middle.
Minor squares early. And he takes ball 3. And if Willie walks the opposing pitcher, you might see some activity in that Brewers bullpen. Mick Kranitz bewildered. Certainly taking here, 3-0. That one's in there. Braves lead 2-0. I think one of the major concerns with Jonathan Lucroy at first, it's not that the Brewers don't understand that he hasn't played a lot of first base. They're trying to keep a bigger bat in the lineup with Lucroy. The biggest concern, though, is how Lucroy will handle, plays that most first basemen make. As Minor takes another strike.
Like bunt plays like this.
Yeah, and you're always worried about the carryover offensively, and you do need Lucroy, and he's a guy, let's face it, he's a guy that he takes it hard when he does not perform at a high level defensively, and he's trying to do that over at first base in a position he is unfamiliar.
He was over there quite a bit last year. Maybe that'll help him out tonight.
Full count, and the bunt is foul, and Peralta comes back to get the strikeout. So his first strikeout is on a fouled bunt attempt by Minor. First out of the inning, still first and second as we go back to the top of the order in Jason Hayward.
Yeah, nice comeback, down 3-0. He just decided to say, you know what, I'm just going to throw him down the middle and see what happens, and he got the out.
Been a slow start for Hayward, just 3 home runs, 10 runs batted in. Did have a hit his last time up. Andrelton Simmons singled. He's at second. Pena singled to right. He's over at first. And Maldonado fires one back behind Simmons.
That'll keep you close. Maldonado loves to show off that throwing arm. He's got a good one. Not too many better. Quick release and a cannon behind home plate. Trying to keep Simmons close to second base. Maybe not just to pick him off, but maybe he won't score on a base hit.
Hayward pops it up. Easy enough for Segura back in the grass. And Peralta gets Jason Hayward. A big out for him early on pitch number 50 here in this second inning. At 27 pitches in the first. So Trying to streamline this a little bit. Peralta has a chance to get out of it. Tell you what, if Willie can get through the second inning, and the Braves, with all of this activity, scored just 2 runs through the first 2 innings, that'll be a small victory for the Brewers. Justin Upton with 2 on, 2 out.
Yeah, with the way the Brewers have been swinging the bats, I mean, you hate to keep harping on it, but it has an effect on what's going on here. See, the fewest RBIs in all the National League, the Atlanta Braves. Kind of surprising on that list, the Cincinnati Reds, normally a pretty good offensive team. But when you're not scoring a lot of runs, I mean, you get down 3-4 runs, it becomes a bit disheartening.
Now the Braves hitting just .230 as a team with runners in scoring position, down towards the bottom of the league. And then you see the lack of runs being scored. They're 1 for 5 tonight. Had a lot of at-bats with runners in scoring position in this game already. The 0-1, Upton lays off. A ball and a strike on Justin Upton. Both of these teams got off to great starts in the month of April. The Braves were 17-9. The Brewers won 20 games in the month of April. May's been a different story. Atlanta is 6-11. The Brewers are 2 under at 7-9. Bouncing ball. Segura will go the easy way, and Peralta not on his A game tonight, but able to wrestle through it. 2-0 Atlanta.
Milwaukee Brewers baseball on Fox Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Piggly Wiggly, the official supermarket of Fox Sports Wisconsin. By Marshfield Clinic, don't just live, shine. And by First Supply, with 115 years of service and 28 locations, professional contractors choose First Supply.
Back at it in Atlanta, and the Braves lead 2-0. Could be a whole lot worse. Willie Peralta has actually been able to wiggle off a couple of hooks here. Braves are 1 out of 6 with runners in scoring position, and working around 3 hits and 3 walks, just 2 on the board. Chris Davis starts it against Mike Minor, and here's a bat the Brewers would love to get going.
Yeah, they need to get him going quickly. It's been a rough start to his season. He was up in a big spot in yesterday's ball game, first inning, bases loaded, 2 outs, and although he hit it hard, grounded into a force out. It just looks as though he's trying to pull the ball a little bit too much and very vulnerable to the outside corner.
Davis still looking for his first hit of the road trip, coming off that big moment at Miller Park to end the homestand, that walk-off 2 RBI single to beat the Pirates.
And stayed on that pitch very nicely when he drove in that run off of Mark Melancon. End the ball game in the 9th for Milwaukee. Well, he got certainly enough power to take the ball out of the ballpark to right field. No need to have him start the bat early and try to pull everything. That's just one of those things. Young hitter gets off to a rough start. Tries a little bit too hard. Jumps out at the baseball. And all that does is make things worse. It's really easy. It's really easy to have a pitching coach tell a hitter, just relax up there. It's not as easy as that.
2-2 on Chris Davis. Minor wants a new set of signs. Now the Brewers have had 1 base runner thus far. That was a leadoff walk to Gomez. Minor with 1 strikeout. He punched out Maldonado to end the last inning. Davis pops this one up, got in on his hands a little bit. And it'll be Freddie Freeman to make the play for out number 1. Well, our Felco All-Star Update. These are the Brewers that are on the ballot, and you can vote now at Brewers.com. We encourage you to vote early and often. See how many Brewers we can get to the Midsummer Classic at Target Field in Minneapolis this year. Peralta has a great chance to end up at the All-Star game if he continues like he's pitching now. If he continues like he's pitching to start this season, he might be the starter at the All-Star game.
Yeah, that's how good he's been. I mean, there's been some pretty good pitching performances in the National League this year, but Willie right now 4th in the National League in earned run average. He's got that 4-2 record.
Has wins against the Pirates, the Cardinals, the Padres, and the Reds. That win against Cincinnati is lone road victory thus far.
This is a stat that we refer to quite a bit, but his last 25 starts dating back to last year, a 271 earned run average. I mean, that's a nice turnaround for Willie from the beginning of his season a year ago. And not only did he throw 8 shutout innings against Cincinnati, he drove in the only 2 runs.
Peralta 2 for 14 at the plate with those 2 ribbies. And he takes a call at strike 3. Minor rings the bell, and Peralta is strikeout victim number 2. Both of the K's have been looking.
Yeah, with all the issues that the Atlanta Braves starting rotation has had, Mike Minor's one of the better ones that they've had over the last couple of years. He's led the Braves in innings pitched each of the last 2 years. Good walk to strikeout ratio. Not really overpowering, but he just gets outs. That's what he does.
There's a strike to Gomez.
A good sinker on the corner. He'll cut the fastball. He's throwing a changeup and a curveball tonight. All for strikes.
Now, Minor's numbers are decent, but don't be fooled by him. He's just getting back into the rhythm of things. A 4.24 earned run average, but he's only been pitching for a couple of weeks now as Gomez breaks his bat. Simmons makes it look easy in a 1-2-3 inning again. That is 9 straight retired by Mike Minor. 2-0 Braves. in Georgia. What a great night for baseball. Beautiful weather. A lot of Brewers fans scattered throughout. Kind of a late arriving crowd here at Turner Field. Kind of a tough place to get to. One of the main reasons why they're building a new stadium.
Already, right?
Hard to believe they're going to tear this place down in a couple of years.
He opened up here. The Braves did in '97.
Freddie Freeman on the first pitch. High fly ball to left. Davis at the wall, reaches up. Oh, he lost his glove, and the ball goes out. A home run for Freddie Freeman. It was in the glove momentarily, and then the glove and the ball went on the other side of the wall as Freeman with his 9th home run.
An opposite field blast just out of the reach, just over the fence, and you see Davis upset with himself. You don't see many opposite field home runs in this ballpark. Freddie Freeman, nice easy swing, big high finish, just off the end of the glove, and he lost it. And right off the end of the fingers, and a home run for Freddie Freeman.
And it's 3-0 Atlanta as Evan Gattis whistles one back up the middle, a base hit. And it's starting to look like a tough night for Willie Peralta. He was able to get through some difficulty in the first and the second. But Willie has now given up 5 hits.
We said that something's got to give between these two offenses. Both of them have struggled so far. The Braves are the one that are breaking out tonight. Already 5 hits, 3 runs on the board in the first 2+ innings.
Here's Chris Johnson swinging early, bouncing ball foul. Now the Braves to start this game 5 for 10 at the plate with 3 walks. That home run by Freeman, number 9 on the year, gives him 28 runs batted in. Freeman homered yesterday as well against St. Louis, part of a 3-hit game for Freddie Freeman. It's another guy that'll be in the discussion for MVP come season's end. Such a good player, both sides too. Outstanding defender as well. Johnson out in front of that one. 0-2 the count.
A combination of power and batting average for Freddie Freeman. 28 RBIs on the season, 9 homers, and hitting over 300.
Off the end of the bat, tough play, shallow left center. Segura over the shoulder. What a catch! Gene Segura with a great play.
And not too many do that better than Gene Segura. Matter of fact, Scooter Gennett not bad at that either over at second base. But that's about as tough as it gets when you're back to the infield. Never really have a good opportunity to set yourself, and able to make a nice over the shoulder catch. Looking like a wide receiver on that one.
Boy, that was something. Gene Segura, one of the better plays of the night you can bet across baseball. That's the first out of the inning. Gattis still at first, and there's strike 1 to B.J. Upton.
Yeah, he was set up a double play depth, which means he was a little bit more shallow than normal. Had a long way to go, and it's all about that quick first step for Segura. Able to go back, angles back perfectly, and able to keep his concentration and squeeze it in. Watch the first step for Segura. That's the key. The way that he has the drop step, goes back. He took a perfect angle on that baseball and able to haul it in. And that first, second step is off a little bit. That's a base hit. Good instincts.
Just a beautiful play by Segura.
It's really not something you could teach. You either have that ability or you don't.
Well, it's a thrill to watch these two guys play short, huh? Andrelton Simmons and Gene Segura.
Yeah. Take away a lot of base hits.
Two of the premier shortstops in the league. There's a swing and a miss. Upton down on strikes. Peralta punches out B.J. Upton. second strikeout and the second out of the inning. Let's take you back to that Freddie Freeman home run. See just how close Chris Davis came to making this play.
Just off the end of the glove. Fans helping him out. Flip the glove back over to him.
I think the good news of that is Davis starting to get comfortable in his surroundings in the big leagues in left field, and he's going to start making plays like that. He's been close. So 2 outs. Here's Simmons. That is the 10th pitch of the inning for Peralta. All of them have been strikes in this inning.
Yeah, only 10 pitches, and there's been 2 hits. And a strikeout.
Looks like the Braves may have changed their approach a little bit second time through. They've been up there hacking early.
Well, you have a guy out there on the mound that's having a tough time with his command. He's already walked 3. You figure he's going to be trying to get that first pitch in for a strike, so why take it? So the Braves have made an adjustment, and what they've been doing so far has worked pretty well.
Two outs. Gaddis at first. Had a base hit after the Freeman homer. Still there. And Simmons now ahead in the count, 2-1. Simmons, one of the anchors of this Braves franchise. They locked up a number of their young players, guys like Freddie Freeman and Craig Kimbrell. 2-2. The changeup from Peralta.
Yeah, mixing it in once in a while. We saw him throw it to a left-handed batter. That was Freddie Freeman his first time up. Now a right-hander. You see Simmons way out in front.
Here's a 2-2. Simmons swings and misses, and Peralta, after a leadoff home run, comes back strong. Back-to-back strikeouts, but it's 3-0 Braves. Nothing as we go to the fourth. Brewers have been shut out by Mike Minor. Time for our Carsoup.com trivia question. Who was the home plate umpire for the Brewers' first National League game in 1998? Wow, taking us back a little bit. The home plate umpire. The fellas in the truck said you would know this one without any problem.
Well, I have a guess, but I'm not going to throw it out there. I know they get upset with me when I do that. Kind of ruins it for everybody at home.
Well, we look forward to that. Maybe you can drop some hints on us.
He's retired.
Oh, I got a great idea who that might be. I only know one retired umpire personally.
Okay.
Gene Segura starts it here in the 4th inning. And there's a strike. Yeah, the one retired umpire I know shows up in our booth every night right before we go on camera. It's the only one I know.
Yeah, this individual thinks when the lights are on us, when we're standing up ready for our open, that means it's time to come on in.
Yeah, time to come chat.
We love them.
Yes, we do.
Yep.
All right, good. Well, that's a nice hint. You got to be a real hardcore baseball fan to start going through the umpire Rolodex, though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Manny Gonzalez is the home plate umpire tonight. 1-2. Segura takes down and in. Brewers desperate to get their offense going. Just one base runner. That was a leadoff walk to Gomez. He ended up at third base. Segura bunted him to second in that inning. A sacrifice. In the air to right and almost in his tracks. Jason Hayward for the first out. That's 10 in a row retired by Mike Minor. Starting to feel a lot like what we saw yesterday with Travis Wood and the Chicago Cubs.
Right, the Brewers really haven't come close to a base hit. I guess the closest they have come was that line drive by Lucroy in the first. Line drive right to Simmons. It's short.
Well, that'll bring Ryan Braun to the plate. Braun had a double in his final at bat yesterday at Wrigley. Drove one off the right center field fence. And that was to lead off that inning. It was left stranded. The Brewers dropping 2 out of 3 to the Cubs. Braves had a comeback win yesterday to beat the Cardinals, salvaging the final game of that series. Also losing 2 of 3. Braun did not play the first game of this road trip in Chicago. 2 out of 9 in his last 3 games.
It doubled his last time up yesterday off the wall and right at Wrigley. Yeah, the weather a little bit too cold for Ryan coming off that oblique strain. Ron Renicky wanted to be a little bit cautious. Left him out of Friday's starting lineup.
And the 3-0 is in there. On the normal Brewers lineup, you'd see Braun, Ramirez, and then Lucroy. That's the ideal 3, 4, and 5 for Ron Renicky. Ramirez on the disabled list, so Lucroy bumps up a spot. Braun going to have to carry the load here. 3-2. Good pitch to get the count full for Minor.
Yeah, right down the middle at the bottom of the strike zone. That was a 4-seamer. So Minor being very aggressive, not messing around with Ryan Braun right there.
See what he does with him here. 3-2. Hits it sharply, but right at Pena. Coming all the way back from a 3-0 count. Minor retires Ryan Braun for the second out of the inning.
And nothing says summer like Brewers baseball and the State Fair. Get one Terrace Reserve ticket to a select Brewers game and one general admission ticket to the Wisconsin State Fair presented by U.S. Cellular. That's for just $15. Visit brewers.com/State Fair.
2 up, 2 down. Here's Lucroy. Lucroy is sitting on a couple of home runs. 16 driven in. He homered against CC Sabathia on the last homestand. That's the last outing for Sabathia for a while, we understand.
Yep, DL.
Got a knee injury. They're talking about maybe 6 to 8 weeks for Sabathia to heal up. Lucroy lines one to left, a base hit. And the first hit of the ball game for the Brew Crew comes with 2 outs here in the 4th.
Yeah, enough of that nonsense right there. It took 5 innings for the Brewers to pick up their first hit in yesterday's game. And Lucroy with a base hit with 2 outs in the 4th.
Which will get a red-hot Ricky Weeks to the plate. Weeks has homered in his last 2 starts. Hit that booming home run yesterday onto Waveland Avenue. You see the final measurement on that home run? 428 feet.
Yeah.
I'm saying I got a problem with that.
I bet if a Cub hit that, it'd been a lot further than that, right?
So, I mean, it landed on the street. You could actually measure it for real. Yeah, he's had a great May, right? 25 at-bats. They've been spread out a little bit, but a couple of home runs, 7 RBIs, big OPS, combining on-base percentage and slugging percentage. Brewers are trying to keep him hot. It'll be very interesting if Weeks has a good night tonight, if he is in the lineup tomorrow. He has started the last 2 games because the Brewers have faced left-handed starting pitchers the last 2 days. But looking ahead at the rest of the series, 3 right-handers: Tehran, Santana, and Harang.
Man, if Ricky keeps swinging a bat, he's going to play. He's going to be somewhere.
A ball and 2 strikes.
What's the saying? The bat plays, right?
Bat plays.
Especially when the bats have been silent. You can't keep a hot hitter on the bench no matter what. Even if you have to risk a little bit of defense, what the Brewers have done tonight with Lucroy over at first base.
Brewers will face a tough customer tomorrow in Julio Tehran, who was the Braves opening day starter and is currently 7th in the National League in ERA. 1-2. Minor will check on Lucroy just for the fun of it. Sometimes Lucroy will go stealth and steal a base. Doesn't look like he's ready to run here in this sequence.
No, he's waiting for Ricky to hit a home run.
He just preferred a jog around. He does have 2 steals, in case you're asking. We'll do another 1-2, and Weeks takes a called strike 3. Minor comes back to get him, follows up the single with a strikeout. 3-0 Atlanta. We head to the bottom of the fourth. Braves are coming up against Willie Peralta. Gene Segura on our Southwest.com non-stoppable play. This will be one of the better ones in the big leagues tonight. You can bet on it. Great play from Segura last inning.
Not only does he catch it, but has the presence of mind to spin around quickly and make sure the runner stays at first base. That was a heck of a play by Segura.
Good timing as well. You think about the way the inning was going for Peralta. As Willie deals strike one to Ramiro Pena. And a leadoff home run from Freeman. Evan Gattis singled. And then that pop-up by Chris Johnson. If that ball drops, Willie's staring down the barrel of some trouble last inning. He's got 2 on, nobody out. Makes the play. Willie comes right back. Strikes out the next 2 hitters to get through the inning.
That's what we're talking about. You know, good defense and good pitching. It all works together. And minimize the number of outs that the pitcher has to get, and he's going to be better.
Peralta's got Pena 0-2. And got him chasing one up there. Pena came to the Braves prior to last season, signed as a free agent by Atlanta. Spent some time with the Yankees prior to that. Versatile utility man, and getting the start at second base here tonight. Peralta strikes him out. Foul tip into the mid of Maldonado. And 3 consecutive strikeouts for Willie Peralta. Gives him 4 for the ball game. And the first out in the fourth.
Yeah, starting to get it together now. And there's a slider. He's been working the slider, the changeup a little bit more as the game's going on, realizing that the fastball is not getting it done for him.
And now the pitcher, Mike Minor, put that one right by him. Throws left, bats right, which is why he wears that padding to cover up the moneymaker, that left elbow. Two and one to Minor. Played his college ball at Vanderbilt with David Price. Bouncer, fair territory, long throw, Reynolds in time. Minor retired. 2 up and 2 down for Willie Peralta as the Braves go back to the top of the order. Well, now time for you to tweet your photo using hashtag WisFanPhoto for a chance to have it shown in an upcoming broadcast. It's brought to you by AT ATL. It's a great shot bouncing around Twitter today. Did you hear the story about the Detroit Tigers? So they got stuck in Boston. They had a night game last night. They got stuck. They did not arrive into Cleveland today, where they are playing tonight, until 4 o'clock. So they got stuck, but it was one of those theme flights.
Right.
They're wearing the Tiger Stripe Zumbas.
Yeah, the Zubas?
The Zubas, I mean. Yeah.
Right, yeah.
The Tiger Stripes. So they were stranded, the whole team wearing the Zubas, the Tiger Stripes, just kind of hanging out. They finally got to Cleveland today at 4 Eastern. And they got on a bus and they went straight to the ballpark. That's a tough travel day.
All right. Well, at least nobody was going to see him at 4 a.m.
Yeah, at least they were very comfortable in the Zubas as well.
I mean, what would you rather be wearing, suit and tie?
That's a picture of the day for me. You can look at it on Twitter. Just search it out. Detroit Tigers.
Is that part of your morning routine?
Yeah, I'd like to go
Twitter?
through. Yes, absolutely.
Nice.
Matter of fact, you were quite a popular figure on Twitter yesterday. By the way.
That's what I heard. Innocent. It was all innocent.
No question. Multiple entries in the trending Twitter for Bill Schroeder yesterday. Peralta just missed. Pretty good looking pitch. It goes to 3-2. Willie trying to make it a 3-up, 3-down inning. Hayward third at bat, and he swings and rips one to center right past Willie Peralta. His second hit of the day. Peralta left it right there for him, and Hayward didn't miss.
You see the reaction of Jason Hayward, kind of like saying, boy, that didn't miss by much. Just misses the head of Willie on a fastball right down the middle. Just doesn't appear that tonight Willie's got the good movement. Doesn't have that good tilt to his fastball, not sinking as it gets to home plate. And because of that, these Atlanta Braves are getting some pretty good swings. But that one didn't miss him by much.
Here's Justin Upton. Always a power threat at the plate. Peralta has now given up 6 hits to the Braves as we play in the 4th. That base hit by Hayward snapped a string of 5 in a row. And 3 of the 5 outs were strikeouts for Willie. Dangerous hitter next, Freddie Freeman.
Yeah, which is why Upton's probably going to get a pretty good pitch to hit right here. You don't want to be dealing with Freeman with a couple of men on.
(3-0).
This seems a little out of his mechanics tonight. I've seen Maldonado stand up and make some gestures to him, trying to have him stay back. Seems like he's rushing toward home plate tonight. That happens.
Now with a 3-0 lead, I'm sure Upton has the green light if he wants to swing away. Upton tonight has walked and grounded out. His brother has walked and struck out tonight. Big pitch again for Peralta. Boy, he's had to make a ton of high stress pitches early. Braves have had some men on base in this game. 3-1 and a big swing. A changeup on a 3-1 pitch from Peralta, and it goes full.
Yeah, he's using that quite a bit tonight. That's because the fastball has not been what he's wanted it to be. You see Upton thinking it's a fastball and swings right over the top of it.
That's a pitch right there that could take Willie Peralta into that elite status among starting pitchers in the big leagues. There goes Hayward, and Peralta misses. So Upton draws the walk, and now 2 on. Peralta got the first 2 out, and going to have to deal with Freddie Freeman now with 2 on and 2 away, and great speed on the bags.
And he has been very good in these spots this year. Hitting over 370 with runners in scoring position.
Now Freeman among league leaders in that category. Currently 3rd in the league in that spot, and this is with a Braves club that is near the bottom as a team in runners in scoring position. Freeman's been doing the heavy lifting in that category this year for Atlanta. The 0-1. Freeman to right. Base hit. Braun coming in. Got a great arm. They're going to send the runner. Hayward on his way to the plate. Braun's throw. The tag. And he is out at home. Ryan Braun cuts down Hayward. Great throw from right. And the inning ends at home plate. Boy, what a throw from Ryan Braun. A much needed out. 3-0 Atlanta.
Community. On July 26th, Brewers Community Foundation will host more than 4,000 walkers/runners at Miller Park for the 5K Famous Racing Sausages Run Walk. The event is an annual favorite. Proceeds will support Fisher House, a needed hospitality house for families of injured military receiving support from the Veterans Administration Hospital. This race provides a unique opportunity to run with the sausages into Miller Park along the warning track. See yourself on the scoreboard as you zoom to the finish line. It sells out every year, so go to brewers.com/BCF to register. And PA, I gotta admit, I've participated in this in the last 4 years, and there's no zooming to the finish line.
Running or walking or both?
Both.
Yeah, you're good. Telly's in great shape. He runs all the way around. And that Fisher House, I tell you what, that's one of the great collaborations that we connect with. We really appreciate their work and what they do for veterans. And it's not just a place for them, but also an opportunity to get restarted, to help their families. It's a really important project in the community, and we're glad the Brewers are standing behind it. I know it's near and dear to your heart as well.
Absolutely. Yep. And Dan Buttrey, a good friend of mine who runs the Fisher House, Wisconsin. They're going to be having a groundbreaking early in June over at the VA hospital, and it'll be the first in Wisconsin, the first Fisher House. There's 63 of them around the country. So yeah, good cause.
Well, Mark Reynolds trying to get something started here for the Brewers. Kind of a good news, bad news story so far tonight. The Brewers are down 3-0, but they have been able to escape some major damage. Willie Peralta has struggled tonight. He's really been grinding with his mechanics, kind of all over the place, giving up 7 hits, but the Brewers only trail 3-0. If he can get the offense going a little bit, can put a little heat on Atlanta. I'm sure the Braves are feeling like they have left a lot of opportunities out there.
Yeah, left 6 on base in the first 4 innings.
As Reynolds draws the walk, so there's a start, second walk. Now, great play to finish the last inning. Ryan Braun coming up with a bullet to the plate to get Hayward.
Just a perfect throw and a good tag by Maldonado. I don't think Freeman, or I should say, I don't think Hayward ever touched home plate. You saw Maldonado out in front of home plate. Can't block the plate anymore. Runners automatically safe, so catchers are being overly cautious with that play.
Now here is Maldonado. Got a runner at first. Brewers have not had a leadoff batter reach base since the first. Little half swing. Maldonado didn't mean to do it. Ball and a strike. Minor hasn't exactly gotten ahead of Brewers hitters tonight. 16 batters faced. He's been ahead of them on only 5 occasions. Those first pitch strikes, but he's been able to come back well, and now it's 1-2.
He's using both sides of home plate very effectively. He hasn't gotten too much of the plate with many of his pitches tonight. The sinker off the outside corner, the four-seamer and cutter on the inside part of the plate to the Brewers' right-handed batters. This has had good command and moving pitches around tonight.
And Maldonado pops it sky high in the infield. And there is the first out.
Tough sky right now. You know, twilight. Lights haven't taken full effect. You see Simmons, when that ball was on its way down, kind of had his hands out thinking, trying to deke Reynolds over at first base. Trying to convince him that he didn't see it. Maybe get off the bag a little bit and get a double play. Didn't work.
Playing a little possum out there at short. That's a guy that you know is now very comfortable in his surroundings, which he is. Here's Chris Davis. Brewers need a big hit. Davis dropped down to 8th in the batting order. He popped up to first his first time up. To a nothing on Davis. Mike Minor. He's got some company. Vanderbilt alums in the big leagues. Quite a baseball hotbed. Got Sonny Gray of the Oakland Athletics, David Price. Reds have a guy from Vanderbilt, Nick Christiani. He's turned out to be a really good college baseball program at Vanderbilt. And you know he's a thinker if he gets his way through Vanderbilt.
Good school, is it?
Very good.
They all are, aren't they?
High academic standards. Manny Gonzalez barks out a strike on Davis, 3-1.
Not quite ACC material, but yeah, pretty good.
Coming from a Clemson guy.
Right. About an hour and a half north of here.
Just makes you want to have some sweet tea, doesn't it?
Got some.
Davis hits that one high and deep left center field. That is way back. And there she goes. Wow, a booming home run by Chris Davis. And just like that, it is a ball game again. The Brewers are within a run. Ooh, that was tattooed.
Yeah, you talked about Minor not getting ahead in the count. That was a 3-1 fastball, and Chris Davis got just about all of it. He got under it, but boy, that was about 10-15 rows back out there in left center. Check it out. Here it is, right down the middle, and Chris Davis didn't miss it, and the Brewers right back in this one. Only their second hit, a big fly by Davis, and Brewers down by 1.
Boy, what a threat he is. He has as much power as anyone, which is so impressive. He's not a very big guy at all. He hits that one where the big boys go as Peralta takes ball 1.
3-1 fastball, middle in. Actually wasn't down the middle, middle in, and Davis, boy, he uncorked it.
5th home run of the year. 3-2 Atlanta. Now Peralta sends that one high in the air to center. That's playable for Upton. And the second out of the inning for Minor. That's got to feel good for Chris Davis. His first hit of the road trip. Reynolds reached with a walk. Davis sends one deep into the seats in left center. And here's Carlos Gomez now. You're always trying to get to the Braves before they get into their outstanding late inning relief.
But that's not easy to do, though. I mean, the starters are pretty good.
Yeah, it all works together, I guess.
Yeah, it does. The starters eat up innings, keep the bullpen fresh.
One and two on Gomez. Even his swings and misses draw oohs and ahs. One of the most entertaining players in the game today, Carlos Gomez. A little half swing, and he's able to check it. 2-2. See what Minor gives him here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And unable to settle on it. Home plate umpire Manny Gonzalez looks like he got something in his eyes. 2-2. Gomez hits one hard through, a base hit. A 2-out, 2-strike single for Gomez. And the Brewers with a man on. Gomez a stolen base threat with Segura coming up. finally got something rolling here against Minor.
Yeah, he left the breaking ball up in the strike zone. I mean, Gomez swung wildly at a couple of curved balls. That one he left up in the zone, and Carlos with a base hit. You figure he's going to try and steal here if he can get a jump. Minor's got a decent move.
Gomez with a big lead. Segura at the plate with 2 gone. Well, you think about the way things turned in the Brewers' favor here in the last couple of innings. That throw by Braun to get Hayward at the plate that ended the last inning. Instead of the Braves taking a 4-0 lead, Braun cuts down the run. They get to the dugout, come up with 2 so far in this 5th inning.
And that's what we're talking about. You know, defense picking up the pitcher, pitchers picking up defense. It all works hand in hand, and that's how the Brewers have been able to stay in games all year.
Ball and a strike on Segura. They'll check on Gomez.
Remember that great play by Reynolds to end an inning with a double play. Then you have Braun throwing out a runner at home plate. That saved a couple of runs minimum right there for Willie Peralta.
Yeah, 3 key defensive plays today. The Segura catch over the shoulder, Braun's throw, and Reynolds' double play. They backed out. Segura called timeout. The scoreboard
on the fritz
was yeah, looked like the Gremlins are in there now, going nuts.
Try hitting with that going on.
That's slightly distracting, right? Wow. Those tricky Braves, I tell you, Rock, they're sneaky that way.
Where's Tony La Russa?
Can you imagine what Tony La Russa would say about that? So they just take the whole thing down. They ought to blow up this place. Well, they're gonna in a couple of years.
That's right.
I was just joking.
There's nothing wrong with it.
It's a beautiful ballpark.
It is.
We'll reset. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Segura fouls it away. Trying to hold back on an off-speed pitch. Now he's down 1-2. Now the Brewers, whether they score any more runs or not, they have accomplished one of their goals here, and they've got Minor in a very high pitch inning. This will be the 28th pitch coming. They've scored twice, got a home run from Chris Davis. Minor was just cruising along through the first 4 innings, hardly breaking a sweat. Had given up just 1 hit and 1 walk through the first 4 innings.
He made a couple of mistakes. He made the mistake on the 3-1 fastball to Davis.
And Segura beats it into the ground to Simmons. He'll go the easy way, and that will retire the side. But the Brewers do some damage. Chris Davis specifically. A long home run. Tape measure job at Turner Field, and the Brewers are right back in it. It's 3-2 Atlanta. Chris Davis goes deep, 3-2 Atlanta as we go to the bottom of the 5th inning. And Evan Gattis will lead off. He's walked and singled against Peralta. Brand new ball game here, and we'll see if Peralta can put together a shutdown inning after the Brewers get him a couple. Pitch count rising for Peralta. He's sitting there at 89, number 90 on its way. As Gattis, a hot one, nice play, Lucroy, and he'll flip to Willie covering the bag. Jonathan Lucroy coming up with a gem.
Yeah, just smother it. You know, get down on it like a catcher, right?
That's right, like you're blocking a slider.
Get down on your knees and make sure it doesn't get by you. You got plenty of time to flip it over to Willie. You don't get style points in baseball. You just get the job done.
So Lucroy makes the play for the first out. Gattis retired for the first time.
Takes a while for that stuff to become routine for you. You see that ball coming at you hot. Yeah, a little panic sets in, but you know, you make a couple of plays, everything kind of relaxes for you.
You know, Lucroy didn't take any ground balls this spring at first base. That was really not in the picture this season. He did play a little first base last year out of necessity. As Johnson takes a strike. But when Ramirez went down, and Lucroy was more than happy to keep his bat in the lineup. He knows how important he is offensively. There's a shattered bat. Peralta boring in on the hands of Johnson. 2 up and 2 down. That'll lead us to our carsoup.com trivia question. The home plate umpire for the Brewers in their first National League game in '98, it was not Fielding Cobra, whom you see pictured there.
It's our buddy, Bruce Fleming.
Yeah, Bruce Fleming. There he is.
There's Bruce.
A handsome man, isn't he?
Is that Eric Gregg behind him?
It sure is. Yep. Headed for the Hall of Fame, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Bruce Fleming. That's a milestone games at Miller Park. He umpired the first game in the history of Miller Park in 2001. And his last game in his 38 big league seasons, his final game was at Miller Park. I remember he had his family there. That was a nice moment.
Right. Yeah. Has umpired over 5,000 games. Yeah. Nice career.
One of the real characters of the game. Remember those McDonald's commercials he used to do?
Yes, yeah.
It's a line drive base hit. B.J. Upton. Just as Peralta was trying to get through this inning, 1-2-3, he singles to right, keeps the inning alive for Atlanta.
That's something you don't see much of from B.J. Upton, taking one to the opposite field. That was a good swing by him. Off-speed pitch from Willie, and he drove it into right field.
So it'll be Simmons now. He singled against Peralta in the second inning. They're similar to that batted ball by Upton just a moment ago, and a single to right. And you might see B.J. Upton try to steal a base here. He's been itching to run. 7 out of 9 in stolen base attempts this year. Simmons with a base hit, jumping on the first pitch. So just like last inning, Peralta gets the first 2 out, and then now facing some trouble here. Back-to-back singles.
And fastball has been a tough pitch for him tonight. He's not getting that good sink like he usually does. He's staying up in the strike zone, and that's why he's been able to, or forced to use the changeup, which has been a pretty good pitch for him.
Two on, 2 out. Ramiro Pena at the plate. Sensing the Braves would again be hacking on the first pitch, Peralta goes with a slider in the dirt.
Braves have to feel like they should have 8 runs on the board tonight.
Right.
And they don't. And the Brewers are right in it.
Braves scored a single run in each of the first 3 innings. They've left 6, and they have 2 out there with 2 on. Or 2 outs, I should say, as Pena fouls it off, and it's 1-1. Pitcher due up next. Peralta with his game face on. Could be his last hitter. He'll probably be allowed to face Minor if Pena should reach, but it will certainly be his last inning. Pushing 100 pitches. Pitch number 100 on the way from Peralta. 2 on with 2 away. And a swing and a miss, throw to second, in and out of the glove of Segura. That would have been close.
Yeah, it would have been close. Not sure they would have had him, but throw just a little bit high. And B.J. Upton getting that big secondary lead. Here comes Segura. If he catches it, it's going to be close.
Maybe if the throw was right on the bag. Looked like Upton might have just had a chance to beat it back. Now Pena, big swing and a miss. Maldonado secures the strikeout with a tag, and Willie, another scoreless frame. 3-2 Braves. Has brought the Brew Crew within a run. As promised earlier in the broadcast, we have the AT&T fan photo of the game. Comes from Mark. A couple shot there at Miller Park. And we appreciate that, Mark. Congratulations. We also give you a chance to put yours on the air. By the way, Rock, the guys in the truck able to find some of those images of the Detroit Tigers in their Zubaz outfit.
Those are sweet. You know, the Brewers are giving away Brewers colored Zubaz this year.
And we show you this not just because that's kind of cool to see Tiger Zubaz, but they had to wear those outfits all through the night, all through the day. As Ryan Braun hits it hard to center field, right at B.J. Upton. 1 pitch, 1 out for Mike Minor. You're going to see how the Tigers are doing. They have the best record in baseball to start the day. They're losing 3-1. Big league clubs are used to getting to the city where they will play the next day in the evening or early, in the wee hours of the morning. To get to a city at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and play a game.
You know, when you first told that story, I thought it was 4 a.m., but it's 4 p.m. That's kind of cutting it close.
That's kind of going back to my old minor league schedule there, when you travel all night on the bus and then play that same day. And you just hope your luggage would show up somehow. Jonathan Lucroy with one away.
Yeah, Boston and Cleveland, you can get there, by bus a lot quicker, couldn't you? Waiting around for a plane?
I don't know. That's a, but when you're on a plane and there's delays.
Yeah, right. I get it.
You kind of feel like it's going to be fixed anytime
But at
soon.
some point, there had to be some panic setting in, saying, we're not going to make this game.
They were prepared to postpone the game. Like planes, trains, and automobiles to get the Tigers to Cleveland tonight.
That's a forfeit, isn't it? You don't make the game?
I don't know if I'm not sure. I think I heard, and I'm just going off memory here. I think they said they were going to postpone it, and it was not going to be a forfeit because of the unforeseen travel conditions. Peralta probably done. He's over 100 pitches. Zach Duke is in the Milwaukee bullpen. Brewers have trailed from the start. They trail 3-2. Lucroy hits one hard. That is fair. Down into the corner it goes. Lucroy on his way to second with a double. A one-out double for Jonathan Lucroy.
He hadn't had any problems centering on Mike Minor tonight. The only out that he's made was a line drive in the first inning. This one just barely fair down the left field line. And Johnson didn't come too far from catching it, so the Brewers have a one-out double. Base hit should tie it up. When that kid can hit, Jonathan Lucroy.
His second hit, had a single in the fourth. Pulled that one as well. Now he's in scoring position as the tying run for Ricky Weeks. Got a long home run from Davis last inning. On a similar trajectory as Ricky Weeks' home run yesterday at Wrigley. Ricky's 0 for 2 tonight. Minor struck him out looking in the fourth.
I got him on the inside corner. Ricky likes it in on him.
And Weeks pops it up. He was a little tardy. Pena will make the call. That is out number 2.
Hey, tonight's time of the game winner, extra innings in Neenah. That's up in the Fox Valley. If they call the Brewers in the next 24 hours, they get 40 Miller Lite beer pen tickets to a Brewers home game this year. This offer courtesy of the Tavern League of Wisconsin and our good friends at Miller Lite.
And we got a loyal viewer watching the game tonight. Her name is Jen Rose, and she turns 99 years of age today.
Nice.
Jen Rose Miller, happy 99th birthday. Thanks for watching the Brew Crew tonight.
Says he watches every game.
Mark Reynolds pops it up. Will it stay playable? Drifting toward the seats, and up it goes above the dugout. I hope Jen Rose gets us a note for her 100th birthday next year.
Yeah,
we
nice.
should have Jen Rose to the ballpark next year for her 100th.
Says she's from Kiel, Wisconsin.
Oh, nice.
And this note here says if we wish her a happy birthday, we'll never have to pay for a beer again there.
And that's why, no, that's not why we did that.
Yes, it is.
Come on.
Just kidding. Happy birthday.
Jen Rose.
Yep.
Big spot for Mark Reynolds. He walked in the 5th inning and was on base when Davis went deep. Long ball here puts the Brewers ahead as Reynolds takes a ball. 2-1 the count.
Anthony Vavaro getting loose out in that bullpen for the Braves.
Maldonado due up next. Minor from the stretch, and Reynolds a swing and a miss. 2-2.
That cut fastball that he takes something off just every so often, and that one had Reynolds out in front.
Reynolds with 8 home runs. He's second on the club in long balls. Lucroy takes his lead at second, and that one is inside. A ball. 3-2 now on Reynolds. Well, after that high pitch inning in the 5th, Mike Minor is starting to push near 100. Payoff pitch coming. 2 outs. And Reynolds fouls it back. Had a good cut at it.
A little bit up in the zone, but able to stay alive. 91, 92 maybe for Minor, and able to get some of these fastballs by these Brewers hitters.
2-run inning in the 5th, that 28 pitch inning. Remember, Minor is coming back from a shoulder injury. Didn't return to the Braves until May 2nd. Made 5 minor league rehab starts, but the most pitches he's thrown in a game, 110. Gaddis wants to get the sign straight. Lucroy's been out at second base for a while. Freddie Gonzalez with his pitching coach, Roger McDowell. Put a bit of a shift on here for Reynolds. Expecting him to pull. And the 3-2, and Reynolds hits it right into that shift. Simmons bobbles, recovers, and that will retire the side. So Minor is through 6. The Brewers trail by a run. Go to the bottom of the 6th. Game summary brought to you by Toyota. Freddie Freeman with a home run. That was to lead off the 3rd inning, and that was the 3rd Atlanta run. Freeman's had a big night tonight. 2 hits. He had 3 hits yesterday, but this one did not result in a run. Could be a big play. Braun gutting down Jason Hayward trying to score. And then in the next half inning, Chris Davis on a 3-1 pitch destroys a Mike Minor offering. 2-run home run, just like that, a 1-run game, which is where we sit as we go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Minor 6 innings, 2 earned runs. He's likely out. Willie Peralta goes 5 innings with 2 earned runs, gives up 9 hits, and he is out of the game as Ron Renicky goes to his bullpen. It'll be Zach Duke.
A gutty performance by Willie. Certainly didn't have his good stuff tonight, but got a lot of help from his defense, saving him at least 2 runs as Zach Duke takes over for the 22nd time, a 3-0 record, a 142 earned run average for Duke. Left-handers have been outstanding for Milwaukee. Last pitched on Saturday and tossed a scoreless inning.
So Duke facing the pitcher Mike Minor. So looks like he's headed back out for a 7th inning of work. Freddie Gonzalez giving him an at-bat here, and a little floater. It's going to get inside the line, a fair ball, base hit. So Gonzalez let it ride with the pitcher, and he delivers with a hit.
Getting ready to say a little bit unusual with a 1-run lead. You're in the 6th inning. Pitch count's getting up there, and a lot of times you might let him hit with 2 outs, nobody on, but the lead off the inning, taking a risk and able to cash in with a base hit down the right field line.
And that'll get Jason Hayward to the plate. Got Hayward, a lefty, and then Justin Upton, and then Freddie Freeman, the left-hander, which is why Duke gets the call here in this 6th inning. Now kudos to Willie Peralta. He didn't have his good stuff tonight, but he was able to work his way through 5 innings. He has kept the club in the game on a night when he did not go to the mound with his A stuff. That's a sign of a good pitching staff. Marco Estrada did the same thing yesterday.
Right. But able to get through it, keep the team close. And unusual that Willie just didn't have a good fastball tonight. Wasn't able to get it to sink, and getting a lot of the plate with it, getting behind in the count. But he made up for it with a pretty good changeup tonight. Got some key outs with the changeup. He kept working the slider in there, and got very good defense.
Two and two to Hayward. Maldonado wants to give the home plate umpire a minute here. Umpires and catchers they'll take care of each other that way. Take a foul ball, catcher gets hit, you'd see an umpire go around and sweep the plate off. Upcoming series coming up at Miller Park, part of that homestand, Rock. The Cubs will be here May 30th through June 1st. You can reserve your seats today at Brewers.com or call 902-4000. The I-94 rivalry will be the 3rd series of the year between the Cubs and the Brewers. Hayward in the air to shallow center field. Gomez cannot get there. A base hit. Little jam shot by Hayward, his 3rd hit of the night. And the Braves have 2 on with nobody out in the 6th.
Yeah, it's a big outfield out there here in Atlanta. I mean, Gomez playing deep with Hayward at the plate, and had the big swing, just didn't get it on the sweet spot, able to dump it out into center field. And Braves have something going. All started with a pitcher with a base hit. Gomez not able to get there. It's one of the bigger outfields in baseball.
Yep.
Not quite your Coors Field size, but there's a lot of room out there to cover in center.
So here's Justin Upton. In the air to center field. Gomez is on the run. He got a great jump on that ball, and he'll make the catch. And Minor, the runner at second, does not tag.
He went halfway. I guess you can understand it.
Wait, hold on here. We got something going on. We got catcher's interference. They're going to place Justin Upton at first base, so I assume that's the only thing I could imagine it would be, catcher's interference here.
And you see Maldonado, he's shaking his head at Ron Renick, saying, "Did you do it?" He said, "Yep." That'll be another error on Maldonado. That'll be an E2 on interference, and the bases are loaded with nobody out. See if we can see it. Must have got the webbing of his glove. He's reaching for the breaking pitch.
Boy, now the Brewers are in a tough spot. Catcher's interference. Bases loaded, nobody out. And the Braves' best hitter at the plate in Freddie Freeman.
That's the second one of those the Brewers have had this year already. Hardly ever see those. Catcher's interference.
Yeah, Lucroy had the other one. Well, Zach Duke needs a ground ball in a bad way here as Freeman takes a ball, 1-1. Freeman does just about everything well on the baseball field except run. Slow of foot. And he's grounded into 8 double plays this season already. He was late there, and it's 1-2.
And the Brewers have their infield back. You can't be playing the infield in with nobody out and the bases loaded. You're asking for a big inning when you do that.
Rob Wooten is in the Brewer bullpen.
So if it's hit to Lucroy or maybe Reynolds, they might go to home plate. Up the middle, they're going to turn 2, second to first.
Big pitch, 1-2 the count. And a swing and a miss. Duke strikes out Freddie Freeman. Dropped down sidearm and went upstairs to get Freeman. That's a big one for Zach Duke.
Man, that's a good pitch. I mean, that's a pitch that's a little bit easier to get to when it's down in the strike zone. He elevated it and got Freeman on a pitch out of the strike zone. He doesn't do that very often. Well, talk about a big out. Well, now Ron Redick is going to go to the mound. You're probably going to see Rob Wooten in the ball game with a couple of right-handers coming up.
So Duke will exit with 3 runners out there, his responsibility. And we'll take a timeout. Pitching change at Turner Field. Wooten is coming in. Monday night, Brewers starting 4-game series this evening. Down 3-2 with the bases loaded for the Braves. Tomorrow on the air at the same time. Matter of fact, all 4 games of this series. 5:30 airtime on Fox Sports Wisconsin. And we got a matchup of opening day starters. Giovanni Gallardo against Julio Teheran.
Yeah, Teheran good for 7th in the National League with a 2.20 earned run average.
Miller Lite, what's on tap tomorrow? So it'll be Rob Wooten now, Rock, with Evan Gattis coming up. Braves have him loaded.
Yeah, tossed a scoreless inning in yesterday's ball game against the Chicago Cubs. Was called up on May 1st and has not allowed a run in 7 appearances since his recall. That covers 6 in the 3rd innings. Tough spot for him. Bases loaded, 1 out. And the 4-5 hitters coming up for the Braves.
Always a thrill for Wooten to pitch here at Turner Field. He grew up a diehard Braves fan. Grew up in North Carolina. He's got them loaded. Those are Duke's base runners. Evan Gattis at the plate. Wooten with that terrific splitter And that breaking ball can induce some ground balls. Gaddis hadn't hit into many this year, only one double play. Got a good rip at that one.
And well located on the outer half of the plate. Gaddis looking to attack that first pitch.
Now remember, you have a pitcher running at third base in Mike Minor. He didn't tag earlier in what ended up being a catcher's interference call. But not exactly comfortable on the base pads like position players are. So it would be very curious, especially with the arms the outfield for the Brewers have, especially in right and center.
They're deep too. Brewers outfield very deep. I think even the pitcher can score on a fly ball that deep.
Bases loaded, one out, and the 1-1 little cue shot foul. 1-2 the count.
This is where you throw that split-fingered fastball. Maldonado needs to get down and block it. Looking for the punch out here.
Wooten has that strikeout pitch and that splitter. See what he does with him here. 1-2 the count. One gone. And Gaddis able to get a bat on it. Braun is over. Winding it up, makes the play. Minor coming to the plate, the throw home, and Minor scores. So Gaddis delivers a sacrifice fly, an RBI. It's 4-2 Atlanta.
And Gaddis doing a nice job staying back in that off-speed pitch, able to lift it deep enough to score the pitcher.
Well, if you can survive this inning and only allow one run, that'll be a small victory here. Bases loaded, nobody out. Now 2 outs, runners at first and second, and it's Chris Johnson. Right-hander David Hale getting loose. We saw Minor bat go all the way around the bases and then score. You figure Minor's coming back out if he goes through all of those exercises. First and second, 2 gone. Wooten delivers, and Johnson is late. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Minor trying to stretch it out.
He was out there on the bases a long time. Pitchers aren't used to that.
One and two. Wooten trying to end this inning. Oh, just missed. Chris Johnson's a good hitter. It was I don't know if you want to call it a collapse because he had such a great year at the plate last year, but he didn't finish very well. Michael Kadire won the batting title last season. He passed him up. But Johnson hit .321 last year. He finished second in the National League at hitting.
Didn't finish too bad.
Yeah. It's not exactly a collapse, but he was hitting in the .340 range late in the season going into the final month of the year.
Right, so that's the tough part of the season. You know, the month of September, the dog days when things get tough, start tiring a bit.
Braves won their division, went into the postseason, lost to the Dodgers. And Johnson fouls that one away.
Just trying to stand up there and stay on the baseball, fouling everything off to the right side. He had a hanging slider that time to hit. Not able to get the bat head out. It's going to be splitter time for Rob Wooten here. And a steady diet of sliders.
2-2, 2 away. A run is in. And Johnson just not biting on that pitch down and away. Wooten gets a lot of swings and misses there. That's why he's such a good hitter. Where the majority swing and miss or offer at it, Johnson has been able to lay off. He did the same with Peralta. Full count. Runners will get a head start. And Johnson rolls over one. Mark Reynolds makes the play. And with the Braves and the bases loaded, nobody out, they get one. It's 4-2 Atlanta.
Sports Wisconsin is brought to you by Southwest Airlines. Find our fares online only at southwest.com. By the Wisconsin Lottery, reminding you to please play responsibly. And by Miller Lite, now in the original can, it's Miller time.
Atlanta leads it 4-2. Top 7 we go. The Brewers coming up. Braves with 11 hits. The real deal is here tonight. Evander Holyfield, Atlanta resident, in the front row checking out this one tonight. The Braves and the Brewers.
Still looks in good shape, doesn't he?
Powerful looking hands there. Puncher's hands,
Yeah,
right? Can you imagine?
They ever box?
No. Never did. There's a strike to Martin Maldonado. No boxing in my past. Sometimes I felt like I was boxing when I was trying to hit. Minor pitch number 100. Misses inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. You do any boxing back in Jersey?
Oh, no.
No?
No.
I thought maybe that's where you got your nickname, Rock.
No. Growing up, had a glass jaw. Knew it right away. Although sometimes when those foul tips hit you in the mask, you feel like you're boxing.
Strike 2. Maldonado disagrees. You ever get knocked out in a baseball game? You know, collision or a foul ball? Or
In college, a couple of times.
Oh, maybe you do have a glass jaw.
Yeah, I do.
There's a called strike 3, and Maldonado has got to look out here. Well, Manny Gonzalez let him argue for a little bit.
That might have been in off the plate, but a little bit too close to take with 2 strikes. Maldonado is probably saying something along the lines of, that hasn't been a strike while I've been catching. Why is it a strike now?
That's a 4th strikeout for Minor. I'll give Manny Gonzalez a little credit, though. He let Maldonado bark, but Maldonado was walking toward the dugout.
Right.
Check the Powerball home run leaderboard. Chris Davis now with 5 after he hit a 2-run shot in the 5th. I always felt like if a batter is arguing and he's walking back, you know, and he's in motion and he's not stopping. If Maldonado stops and turns around and walks back to the umpire, he's gone.
Yeah,
no question.
Pretty good chance he's going to be thrown out.
But Gonzalez, you know, it's in the heat of battle. He lets him bark a little bit.
Some umpires will chase you down, though.
Yeah, they will.
And all 4 strikeouts for Mike Minor are called strike 3s. Every one of them. That gives you an idea how good he is at mixing his pitches in and out. And most of them have come on the inside corner.
And he's gotten Maldonado twice on that pitch on the inside corner. 2-1 to Davis. And that ball is tattooed to center field. A base hit. So Davis with a couple of hits. So his bat gets going a little bit on this road trip, and a 1-out base runner will bring the tying run to the plate.
And showing signs of coming out of it. That went up the middle. A change up upstairs and weighted back nicely and hit it hard into center field.
Elian Herrera will pinch hit for the Brewers. So Peralta, Duke, and Rob Wooten. It'll be Brandon Kinsler next. Every time the Braves have scored a run, they have single tallies in 4 different innings tonight. It has felt like the damage could have been a whole lot worse in each of those 4 innings. Long chat here with Roger McDowell. The home plate umpire is out to break it up.
Well, the Braves are 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. And they've left 10 runners stranded tonight. That's through 6 innings. It's been the story of their season.
Yeah, they had the bases loaded with nobody out last inning. Scored just 1 run. That was on a sac fly. So the Brewers are right there despite being out hit by 6. And that gets by Gaddis. Davis on his way to second. Takes the Braves out of a double play chance to end the inning, and now a runner in scoring position for Herrera. That'll be a wild pitch.
That's no more of a wild pitch than the one they called a pass ball on Maldonado.
I feel the same way. I knew you were going to say that. That was, I would say, Maldonado's pass ball
tougher.
Was much more of a wild pitch.
The catcher's having a rough time. Maldonado with a couple of errors, a pass ball. Now Gaddis with a wild pitch that should have been caught.
And they actually have just made a correction. Passed ball is the call. Davis takes his lead at second. And Herrera looks at one away. Elian's a switch hitter. He got a start on Saturday and had 2 doubles as a left-handed batter against the Chicago Cubs. Made starts on Friday and Saturday. One man out. Brewers down by 2. Trying to go the opposite way.
Get the sense that Freddie Gonzalez is giving Mike Minor a long leash here tonight. Might have thought after that Davis base hit it might have been it. There has been activity in that Braves bullpen, but Gonzalez is going to stick with his starter. Shading Herrera up the middle.
And Herrera swing and a miss. 2-2. The Braves had to go into their bullpen early yesterday. Gavin Floyd went just 5 1/3, so they had to get multiple innings out of Wood and Carpenter. Craig Kimbrell saved it. That comeback win in St. Louis might have something to do with it. And Herrera, he goes. Unable to check his swing. Herrera strikes out, and the second out for Mike Minor. And his second strikeout of the inning.
That started that bat on the slider and just could not hold up. He went down, but clearly he went too far.
So that'll be the last hitter for Minor. With Carlos Gomez coming up, Minor is headed out, and he will exit to a standing ovation here at Turner Field. Here in the 7th inning. Have a runner at second and 2 outs. Down 4-2, and it'll be David Hale coming out of the rotation into the bullpen, and he's been very good across the board this year in any role that Freddie Gonzalez has had him in. He's starting to get into more leverage innings at this point.
Yeah, he was in the starting rotation when Mike Minor was on the disabled list. He returned, and he's made 7 scoreless appearances out of the bullpen. And he is on here in the 7th to get the final out for the Braves. Runner at second. You got the top of the order coming up. Brewers need to get something going here.
So it'll be Carlos Gomez at the plate, presented by Wendy's. You see his night tonight in his return after 5 games out of the lineup, 3 via suspension. 1 with a back injury, and then yesterday with an illness. Well, he's been good tonight. A walk, has a base hit, and he's up in a big spot. The Brewers down a pair. David Hale. And starts him with a breaking ball. Mike Minor goes 6 2/3, and at this point 2 earned runs. His longest outing of the year, at least by pitches. Brewers looking for their first hit with a runner in scoring position. 1-1. Remember when we last saw the Braves in that opening series, they had Hale and Wood in the starting rotation. Gavin Floyd and Mike Minor now starting. Re-entered the rotation after injuries. So Hale, the right-hander, Wood, the left-hander, back in the bullpen for Atlanta. Very strong pitching staff. Gomez coming out of his helmet.
Man, had a breaking pitch to hit, but swung right through it. I can't feel good with a bad back, and Gaddis not able to hold on to that one. That was a foul ball, actually. Foul tip.
Gomez has been nursing that sore back kind of around towards the obliques. But hard to tell him not to swing away like that. That's just what he does. 1-2. Davis still at second. Gomez out to short. Simmons makes the play to end the inning. Brewers get a runner at second base, fail to score him. Still 4-2 Atlanta. Seventh at Turner Field. Atlanta coming up. Our shining moment tonight is courtesy of Marshfield Clinic. Brewers playing some D tonight. Mark Reynolds starting a 5-4-3 double play. This the play of the game as Segura goes over the shoulder to make the catch, and then Ryan Braun cuts down a run at the plate. Gunning down Jason Hayward. Lucroy smothering one. Well, there has been an error that led to a run, but the Brewers have been very sharp defensively other than that E2 on Maldonado.
That's the way it's been all year, really. I mean, the first month and a half, the Brewers defense has been very good. As Brandon Kinsler takes over here in the bottom of the 7th inning, 15th appearance for Brandon, a 377 earned run average for him. Kinsler last pitched yesterday, tossed a perfect 6th inning at Wrigley Field, and has made 3 straight scoreless appearances, and he had struggled since coming off the DL with that rotator cuff strain, but his last 3 appearances have been good.
4 runs on the board for Atlanta. 2 of them are earned. 2 unearned. Remember the catcher's interference. Maldonado has both of the errors tonight. Maybe one of the better defenders at his position among all the Brewers with those 2 E's. And a tough night for Maldonado. He's also struck out a couple of times. Kinsler trying to get through the 7th. The Brewers in the 8th inning will have Segura, Braun, and Lucroy coming up. Best part of the order. Braves are at the bottom of their order. B.J. Upton, followed by Simmons, and then Pena, and then the pitcher spot after that. Both teams comfortable in games like this. Low-scoring, well-pitched affairs. Upton to right. Braun will settle under it, and B.J. is retired. 1 out.
Yeah, with the Brewers Baseball Academy presented by Quick Trip, your child will receive over 30 hours of professional instruction. Plus, meet a Brewers player, get full Brewers uniform, 4 game tickets, and a VIP trip to Miller Park. Reserve your spot today at brewers.com/camps.
One gone. Here is Simmons with a couple of hits tonight. He's 2 out of 3. Both of his hits to right field. Swinging away at the first pitch. Mark Reynolds. 2 outs.
Good to see Brandon Kinsler back on spot, able to get some good movement with that fastball. He had a tough time, understandably so, after missing about 2 weeks on the disabled list. Came out a little bit flat with a fastball, but last 3+ appearances, 4 now, that he's been able to get better movement and getting more ground ball outs.
Kinsler with 2 gone, and Ramiro Pena, switch hitting second baseman, who is 1 out of 3 tonight. He has struck out his last 2 times up. Willie Peralta started tonight. He struggled, but he didn't allow as many runs as he could have tonight. He really fought through it well. 5 innings, 3 runs, 2 earned. Had 4 walks and 5 strikeouts did Peralta. He's on the hook for the loss. Mike Minor pitches into the 7th inning. 6 2/3 for Minor with 5 Ks. And the only runs allowed, that 2-run homer by Chris Davis. That was in the 5th.
It just shows you how Willie's evolved as a pitcher since the beginning of the year last year. I mean, able to get himself out of tough situations, eliminating the big inning. I mean, he gave up single runs in the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd inning. That was it. Able to get himself in and out of trouble.
1-2 on Pena. Didn't miss by much. 2-2.
Might be the pitch that Maldonado was talking about as he left the home plate area.
He kind of held it there for a minute.
Yeah, in other words, that's the one I'm talking about right there.
Yeah, catchers don't have to necessarily say anything to make their point. A 2-2 and in the dirt. Full count. The Brewers have not had a 3-up, 3-down inning tonight from the mound. Braves have been able to put a man on in every inning. Braves have left 10 men on base. Payoff pitch coming. Kinsler to Pena, and a bouncer. Lucroy coming in. He'll take it himself. Close play. Just got him. Side retired. Brian Braun coming up. He's due up second. The Brewers are down a pair. The Brewers trailing 4-2 and 6 offensive outs to work with. Got the heart of the order coming up, and it'll be the Braves setup man, David Carpenter, a converted catcher and a former Cardinal. He is having a bang-up year this year. 3-0 record, a 2.45 earned run average. Rock, a big strikeout pitcher on the mound.
And a big fastball. You're right. He's faced 23 batters in 18 and a third innings. That covers 18 appearances this year. And if you don't get to the Braves in the first 8 innings, you might not ever get to them because they have Craig Kimbrell out there in the bullpen for the 9th inning.
Now, one of the game's best closers, if not the best closer. Kimbrell had a save yesterday in St. Louis. Brewers will try to do some work here in the 8th. You got Segura leading off, then Braun, and then Lucroy. 4-2 Atlanta. They've out-hit the Brewers 11-5. Braves have 4 runs on the board, 2 of them unearned on a couple of errors by Maldonado.
You got the setup man coming in throwing 96, 97. You got the closer coming in 97, 98. So you better gear up for the fastball with these 2 guys.
David Carpenter. I think he made a good switch from behind the plate to the mound, huh?
Yeah.
Segura takes a ball. 2-1 the count.
Not an unusual move. You see that from time to time. Guys in the lower minor leagues that are position players with good arms just can't hit, move to the mound, and end up in the big leagues.
Segura into right. Hayward is over, and he's got it. Had to reach up at the last minute, use all of that 6-6 frame. Segura hit it well, but right at Hayward. Tough break for him. First out of the inning. Ryan Braun with 1 away. Carpenter gets ahead of him. David Carpenter is a significant footnote in Major League history. He was actually traded with his manager, John Farrell, as a member of the Blue Jays, traded with John Farrell to the Red Sox. Farrell would take over as the skipper of the Boston Red Sox, winning the World Series last year. Braun fouls it back. Haven't been too many trades for managers in Major League history.
Yeah. There was a trade for a broadcaster, right?
Ernie Harwell.
Yeah.
For a minor league catcher.
Yep.
Or for a major league catcher who went to the minor leagues. That's even worse. I'm going from the big leagues, the Brooklyn Dodgers, to the Atlanta Crackers for who? It's not even a player.
Right.
There's a drive to right. Braun hits it well. Hayward is back at the wall, reaches up, and it's gone. Ryan Braun with a home run. Opposite field shot. Braun goes out, and the Brewers are within a run.
Just such a nice, pretty stroke, and Ryan Braun doesn't have to overswing to hit it out of the ballpark, even to right field. Bat speed at the point of contact. Braun able to get on top of it and line it out of there to right field. Now, there's your run. One closer, and check this out. Nice easy swing. Gets on top of it, gets the back spin, and carries on out of here over the head of Jason Hayward.
Well, Ryan Braun with his 7th homer, just out of the reach of Hayward. His first home run since April 20th. Had a stint on the disabled list to start this month of May. Career RBI for Braun, number 700.
Makes hitting look so easy, and what he did is very difficult to do. You take a fastball in the upper 90s and you do that, and that's something special.
And Lucroy follows with a base hit, so the Brewers put the tying run aboard. Lucroy has a 3-hit night tonight. 2 singles and a double for Lucroy. And the Brewers will bring the go-ahead run to the plate.
They better snatch him back here. Ricky, a pretty good fastball hitter. Braves have had many opportunities to put this game away, have not done it. The Brewers are hanging around, and they have a chance to take a lead.
He had Thomas trying to get ready quickly.
Getting toward the bottom of the order. Brewers may very well go to the bench. They've got 3 lefties on that bench. Overbay, Schaefer, and Jeanette.
All right, here's Weeks in a big spot. Long ball puts him ahead here. Ricky, one of the hottest hitters that the Brewers have right now. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Lucroy takes a lead at first, and Weeks takes a breaking ball low. So Carpenter, trying to get ahead of him with off-speed stuff, has fallen behind 2-0.
And Ricky waiting back nicely, taking them both for strikes or for balls. And now he's in a position where he could be sitting on a fastball. Get one to hit and let her fly.
Two and nothing to count. Lucroy, the tying run. Carpenter had a great year last year. Really the first time he established himself as a big league weapon, as he converted from behind the plate. Made it to the big leagues in 11 with Houston, but last year was his year. A 1.78 ERA last season. Weeks, Powder River with a fastball. He put it right by him, and Ricky was taking a shot at one. Carpenter only gave up 5 home runs last year. He's already given up 2 this season in his first 21 games. Bouncing ball, broke his bat. Simmons to second for 1, the throw to first, and a double play, and the inning is over. 6-4-3 double play ends it. Ryan Braun makes it a 1-run game. Couple of home runs tonight, producing all 3 runs, Davis and Braun. Braun's homer just a moment ago has made it a 1-run game again. And it's going to be Wei Chung Wong as as Renicky is running out of fresh arms in that bullpen. Wong is out there to work the 8th in a 1-run game, and he's going to have to go through some tough hitters in this Braves lineup here in the bottom of the 8th.
Yeah, hasn't pitched in almost 2 weeks. Last time he was on the mound in the game was against the Diamondbacks back in Miller Park. Tossed a scoreless inning, gave him a couple of hits, but struck out a batter. And Wong, first time that he has been in a game that has been this close. And you're right. I mean, what options does Ron Renicky have at this point? You got Smith, Thornburg left in that bullpen. Both of them have been throwing an awful lot. You don't want to go to K-Rod, so Wong's the guy after Ron Renicky went through 3 relievers in 2 innings.
And you know Ryan Domit's going to pinch hit here. He was on deck last inning. You'd much rather have Domit hit right-handed. You got the lefty Hayward due up next. And then Justin Upton, and if anybody gets on, the lefty Freddie Freeman. So it all points to Wong. And Renicky is going to take the shot at it and see if he can get Wong into more crucial innings. There's only so long you can go to try to protect this young pitcher. And as much as the Brewers want to keep him, they're going to have to find out if he can elevate into spots like this. You need everybody you have when you're in the pennant race.
Well, especially in this stretch. The Brewers don't have an off day for a while. So all hands on deck, even Wei Chen Wong tonight.
Ryan Domit had a big hit yesterday in the comeback against St. Louis. Had a pinch hit double off Trevor Rosenthal in the 9th inning. Braves scored twice in the 9th yesterday to beat St. Louis and salvage the final game of that series. And Wong has fallen behind 3-0.
You throw all your side sessions you want, but it's nothing like a game situation and game speed. Much different when the lights are burning. You got big league hitters at the plate. He's got a good arm. That's why the Brewers want to keep him around and make sure they don't lose him back to the Pirates. The Rule 5 selection. Got to keep him all year or risk losing him.
Three balls and a strike to Domit. 4-3 Atlanta. And Domit was late. And there's an idea of his fastball. And it's not jumping off the page at you at 91 miles an hour, but there's something to it that hitters, even in a 3-1 count, a hitter's count, Domit a little bit late.
We saw him throw some changeups in spring training. We haven't seen too many of those in games this year in the regular season. Slider's pretty good. Only 22 years old.
The pale pitch. Got in there on his hands again. Count remains at 3-2. Wei Chung Wong, 22 years of age, out of Taiwan. Hesitation and the 3-2, and Domit in the air to left. Davis going back, and that ball is gone. And just like that, the Braves have added to their lead. They get their run back, and it's back to a 2-run game as Domit goes deep.
Fastball outer half. So Ryan Domit coming off the bench in back-to-back days has been pretty good. Doubled against the Cardinals yesterday in the 9th inning, and here comes a home run off of Wong on a pitch that was out away from him, able to hook it out of here to left. And the Braves have their 2-run lead back.
First home run of the year for Domit, the 100th of his career, and it's 5-3. Here's Jason Hayward. that hit him. Hayward hit by a pitch. On base for the 4th time. And one of the fears the Brewers had, and it's risky to keep a guy like Wong, is you put him in a spot in the big leagues when he's not, he hasn't really developed through the minor leagues. You certainly don't want to run the risk of hurting his confidence.
He was in the Gulf Coast League last year. That's rookie ball.
Rookie ball to the big leagues.
To the big leagues, and again, and he hasn't pitched in a game in 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks. You can't expect a whole lot of location for him.
Hayward takes off. Maldonado's throw is late and a stolen base. Second steal for Hayward. Got a huge jump.
Big lead, good jump. Wong not paying much attention to him, and Maldonado made it pretty close.
(5-3) Atlanta. Justin Upton at the plate. That ball's hit well to right. Braun is back, and it is gone. 2-run home run for Upton. And the Braves have opened it up. Number 11 for Justin Upton. It's 7-3 Atlanta.
Yeah, that'll probably sit Craig Kimbrell down. Easy swing for Justin Upton, and a pitch out away from. They know the fastball's coming. He gets it and drives it out of here to the opposite field. Just like that, 3 runs on the board for the Braves.
Freddie Freeman taking a big hack. Oh, and 2 on Freeman. Well, the Brewers so close. They got within a run on Braun's homer. Had the tying run on, the go-ahead run at the plate. A 6-4-3 double play. Renicky forced to go to Wong here in this spot. Down a run. And 3 runs are in for Atlanta on 2 homers.
And Renicky did not want to put Wong in this situation, but really no choice. I mean, you can't burn out your entire bullpen just to protect one young reliever out there. Didn't want to use Smith down in the game. Thornburg. They've all been throwing a ton.
Well, Freeman strikes out, so Wong picks up his first out. Strikes out a good hitter. And 1 away here in the 8th.
They got him on the slider. Breaks out the slider, the breaking pitch. I think it was a slider. It didn't break much, but they took a little bit off and had Freeman out in front.
Evan Gattis now. Brewers are in danger of dropping their 3rd straight game. Won the opener on Friday night of this road trip in Chicago. And dropping the final 2 in that series. Brewers started the day 10 games over 500 and a 4-game lead in the division.
Adding insult to injury, that one got a piece of Maldonado behind home plate. Rough day for him today.
Yeah, this will be one for him to forget quickly. 2-0 the count. Cardinals are off tonight. Cincinnati in play tonight. They're in the 10th inning in Washington. They're all tied at 2. That was a Mike Leake, Steven Strasburg matchup tonight. Leake had the best of him. Washington got a run in the bottom of the 9th inning to tie that game at 2, and that's why they're playing extra innings at Nationals Park. Did he go? A little half swing. He did not. Able to check it, and it's ball 4. Yeah, Roldis Chapman blew the save tonight.
You wonder how he's going to be able to respond to that line drive that went off his face. And sometimes it takes a guy a little bit of time to not feel as though that's going to happen again. You flinch, you don't finish your delivery to protect yourself, and we'll see how he comes through all that.
Chris Johnson takes a strike. It's only 4 other games in the big leagues tonight. Everything is in progress right now. Cleveland has taken a 4-3 lead over the Indians in the 8th inning after that crazy night of travel for Detroit. Game's going to the 9th, 4-3 Cleveland. White Sox have overtaken the Royals 7-6 in Kansas City. White Sox lead it. And just underway out west, the Angels and the Astros. Division rivals in the American League West. Angels and the Astros are just underway.
Just can't get used to that.
I know it. Angels are going along okay.
Yeah.
They're 5 games over. Texas is hurting in that division. They have placed every one of their starting pitchers on the disabled list. And the Rangers are trying to find their way out. They are off tonight. Anthony Varvaro up and throwing now. They have sat Kimbrel down. And Johnson is swinging a miss. Down he goes. So amidst all the madness, Wong has strikeouts on Freeman and Johnson for his second out.
That pitch down in the strike zone. I think that's a changeup right there. I mean, pulled the string on him and got Johnson out in front over the top.
B.J. Upton now. That is in and out of the glove. Nope, foul ball. Gaddis took off, and they'll send him back to first. It has been exactly 1 month since the Braves last scored 7 runs in a game. April 19th, the last time they put 7 on the board in a game.
And they've racked up 13 hits, and they have left a ton on base.
Ron Renneke out having a chat with Manny Gonzalez. Not sure what this is about. See if we can pick something up here.
The fact that the ball hit Upton's bat twice, I don't think it much matters because it's a dead ball once. Is that a foul ball or is it interference?
Or just a dead ball? I was
interference by Upton for having to hit his bat. Maybe that's why they sent him back. Interference by a hitter in that situation doesn't result in an out. Only a ball in play results in an out for interference. But the runner has to go back.
Three balls and a strike. Braves have scored 3 here in the 8th inning. And now a 4-run lead. And that one missed. So Upton on base for the 3rd time. 2 walks and a hit. And Wong continues to struggle here. 28 pitches in this inning for Wong.
You got to be concerned a bit about his confidence at this point. I mean, it seems like every time he comes in, he's giving up hits, having a tough time throwing strikes. We hope it doesn't affect him too badly. That's why Ron Renneke's very careful when he uses him.
Simmons swinging away at the first pitch, which he does often. Well, the inning started with a Ryan Domit pinch hit home run. It came with 2 strikes. Made it 5-3 after the Brewers got a homer from Braun in the 8th inning to get within a run. Strike 2. And then Wong hit Hayward. Justin Upton then hit one out to right. A 2-run home run. Braves have 3 home runs tonight. The Brewers with 2. Upton, Freeman, and Domit with the home runs for Atlanta. Davis and Braun for the Brew Crew. Braves have had a ton of base runners in this game. They've left 10. While they have scored 7 on 13 hits. 2-2. And Simmons with a base hit. This is going to bring in another run. In the score is Gaddis, and it is 8-3 Atlanta. 4 runs in the inning. Third hit of the night for Andrelton Simmons.
They got a fastball in on him and able to pull it down the line. So Kranitz wants to have a chat with his young left-hander out there. Just trying to calm him down and maybe try to take away a little bit of this momentum that this Braves offense has gathered tonight. Well, we mentioned when we come on the air that something's gonna give with these 2 offenses, and it's certainly been the Braves that have broken out of it tonight. Not just the 8 runs, but the 14 hits. They have had runners on base all night long. Matter of fact, there's only been 1 3-up, 3-down inning. All the other innings, the Braves have had a minimum of 2 base runners on in each inning. Been that kind of night.
They've had 6 men reach base in this inning alone. The 9th batter of the inning, Ramiro Pena, takes a ball. Well, you feel bad for Wong. He is in a spot that he is certainly not accustomed to. Now the Brewers, if they decided to send Wong to the minor leagues, or they were going to take him off the major league active roster, they still could keep Wong, but it would probably have to involve a trade with players that they may not want to part with. So those are the decisions that Doug Melvin, the general manager, and Gordash have to make. You're trying to protect your assets, and Wong, many feel, has a very bright future. He's coming off Tommy John surgery just 2 years ago. Still needs some development though. So on one hand, if you could get him through the entire year and he could be effective, then you could send him back to the minor leagues next year. But if you do it this year, then you'd either have to work out a trade with the Pirates, or you've got to send him back to Pittsburgh. That's the way the rule works in this particular case, the Rule 5 draft.
And Pittsburgh has the option of taking him back. Not to say that they would. Who knows? But I think it's going to be difficult for the Brewers to hang on to him here in the big leagues, and while they're still in a pennant race. But you hope they can.
And you're hoping to catch lightning in a bottle. You can see where the Brewers are thinking there. You got a left-hander who throws hard. He throws strikes. Has 3 pitches. And we saw him very good in spring training this year. And, you know, you try to get him to catch fire a little bit, work through it. But it has not been the case here with Wong. 2 on, 2 out, 2-2 the count. And it goes full. And now you're starting to get into the danger zone here with Wong and his pitch count.
And the last thing that the Brewers want to do is have to get Smith or Thornburg up in the bullpen. I mean, that's the last thing they want to do. So I don't see them taking Wong out in this inning.
Might be another night where you see a position player pitch if he can't get out. And I'm not sure what the number is for number of pitches in an inning. Runners go, and a swing and a bouncer back up the middle, a base hit. Going to bring in another run. And it is 9-3. As Romero Pena gets into the act. RBI single.
It's a 4-3 game coming into this inning. Brewers knocking on the door. You can only imagine the discussion that's going on between Rick Kranitz and Ron Renneke, and Ron Renneke is going to come out. And somebody's coming in. Looks like Lyle Overbay is making his way out to the pitcher's mound. Boy, you hate to see this. Second time the Brewers have had to use this. A position player. They used Maldonado early in the season, but boy, this is not what you want to see from first place club.
I'm guessing Overbay's been throwing underneath. He certainly wasn't throwing in the bullpen, but Wong will exit, and you wonder how long he'll be able to stay. Wei Chung Wong there with his interpreter Jay Shee. Just another tough outing and a tough spot for him. Trying to survive at the big league level, but he cannot. So Lyle Overbay making his first career pitching appearance, facing Ryan Doumit, who started this inning as a pinch hitter. And getting 2 at-bats here. He's the 10th batter of the inning. The Braves have scored 5 in the 8th, and they lead 9-3. A pinch hit home run by Doumit off Wong to start this inning. The first pinch hit homer for him since the 2010 season. And that was against the Brewers back in 2010. If I recall, I believe it was against Trevor Hoffman.
Trevor Hoffman, yeah. Back-to-back days with home runs for Ryan Doumit against Trevor. Wow, trying to flip up a slider. Trying to take a little off. Maybe keep him off balance, down 3-1.
I'll tell you, confirmed that he was throwing underneath. There's a lot of space down there to throw. Oh! Doumit, I don't know if he can be begging for a walk against a position player, can you?
I think he was.
Come on now, Ryan. You got to take your hacks, man. It's Lyle Overbay on the mound. Come on. 3-2. He does swing, and he pops him up. And Overbay, his first career pitching outing, a third of an inning, and a 0 ERA. Way to go, Lyle. Bad inning for the Brewers. They trail 9-3. Braves score 5 runs. They lead 9-3. Ryan Braun homered with 1 out in the 8th to bring the Crew within a run. But now it's all Braves as we head to the last, and it'll be Anthony Varvaro on the pitch for Atlanta.
Yeah, you're hard pressed to find anybody coming out of that Braves bullpen that has some bad numbers so far this year. 277 earned run average. Look at the strikeouts for Varvaro. 18 punch outs in 13 plus innings. Another hard thrower coming out of that Braves pen.
And it'll be Mark Reynolds to lead off. 0 for 2 with a walk today. Scored a run. He was on base when Chris Davis hit his home run into deep left center. Quickly 0-2. Now we'll have a rematch of our opening day matchup tomorrow. Gallardo against Tehran. Braves Brewers, game 2 of this series. Tehran's been fantastic. He was good in that first game. Gallardo just a little bit better as Reynolds strikes out for the first out of the inning. And remember, all 4 games of this series with Atlanta starting at 7:10 Eastern, 6:10 first pitch in Milwaukee, on the air at 5:30 each of the next 3 nights on Fox Sports Wisconsin with Brewers Live, hosted by Jeff Grayson. Jeff and Davey will have the Brewers Live postgame for you as soon as we're wrapped up here.
Yeah, this is a pretty good game for a long time. Kind of got away from the Brewers in the 8th. There's some good starting pitching that you're going to see in this series. Most of them in the top 20 in the league in earned run average. And tomorrow's going to be a dandy.
Brewers trying to snap a losing streak. Trying to get back to winning ways. They are, barring a miracle here in the 9th, going to drop to 7-10 in the month of May after their 20-win April. Gallardo will make his 10th start of the year. Second trip against Atlanta. Took a no decision his last time out against Pittsburgh. Gallardo has really been good against the Braves throughout his career. Some of his best games have come against Atlanta. Matter of fact, his career ERA against the Braves in 8 starts is 1.79.
Yeah, 5-1, 1.79 earned run average.
He's got a complete game against him here at Turner Field,
including a 2-0 victory on opening day. Yep.
2-2. We'll see if Maldonado can dig out a positive from his night tonight. Been a rough one for him.
The Brewers have had some pretty good pitching performances against the Braves in their history in the National League. Remember Ben Sheets, 18 strikeouts against the Braves.
Full count to Martin. Well, somewhere along the way, the Brewers gonna have to find the bats, wake them up. 3 runs on 7 hits tonight, and a couple of home runs from Davis and Braun. And that gets by Gaddis, and Maldonado draws the walk. So there's a good at bat. Took him deep in the count and draws the walk. And Maldonado reaches for Chris Davis.
Davis had a nice night at the plate. Home run, base hit up the middle. Staying on the baseball better tonight.
Yeah, hopefully a sign of things to come for Davis. He can be streaky. He hit a long home run in the 5th to make it a 1-run game. That was a 2-run shot. Reds and Nationals are still playing tonight. They are in the 11th inning, tied at 2. I saw where the Tigers came back. They got a home run from J.D. Martinez. Remember him, the former Astro? He's now in Cleveland, or rather in Detroit, and he hit a home run to tie that game against the Indians. So they're in the bottom of the 9th, all tied up.
He's still in their Zubas?
Maybe under their uniforms. There's a call at strike 3. Davis is out. 2 outs in the inning. Tigers are on some kind of roll.
Yes, they are.
They're 15 games over. First-year manager Brad Ausmus. They're running a lot more.
14-4 on the road.
What a pitching staff as well, huh?
Yeah.
Man. Well, here's Overbay. So he pitched, got an out, has a 0 career ERA in the big leagues, and now he's going to get a chance to hit.
And he could very well improve the Brewers pitching statistics offensively. He's up there as a pitcher.
That's right. You're exactly right. Pitcher Lyle Overbay.
Kind of shades of old Brooks Kieschnick. Pitch an inning, come up and hit a home run.
I wonder what old Brooks Kieschnick is doing these days. I think he's back in Corpus Christi, Texas. 1-2 on Overbay. And the Brewers down to their last strike. It was 4-3. Atlanta going into the bottom of the 8th. Braves scored 5 runs on 5 hits. Two and 2. Do it. Navarro seals the deal. The Atlanta Braves win the opener of this series and have now taken 3 out of 4 from the Brewers this season. An eruption in the bottom of the 8th. Atlanta pulls away late. They win 9-3. They take the opener of this 4-game series. Brewers drop to 27-18. 9 games over 500. The Braves improve to 24-19. So they go 5 over. Time now.